So you're moving 12
12 bricks a week, sometimes
Wow.
15. Yeah,
Kilos,
like
full
yeah,
kilos?
yeah, like clockwork.
He gave you a key of
Of
meth?
meth, yeah, of
Oh,
clear,
wow.
yeah. And he's like, just take 12 of them. And he's like, can you move bud? He's like, man, I'll get it to you $250 a brick. I used to keep 40 G's on me at all times, 10 racks in each pocket. That dude was making $10,000 for me a day. If I get caught with this, I'm done. It's a wrap.
This is Tim Griesheimer, the white blood gang member who survived 7 brutal years in Texas maximum security prison. But his journey didn't end there, not even close. Immediately upon his release, he fell in with members of the Gulf Cartel, and almost overnight, Tim became a multi-million-dollar crystal meth dealer. He was also trafficking thousands of pounds of weed from the West Coast to his native Ohio, where he went on the run for years before finally being arrested again. He ended up doing another Texas prison bid where, get this, he converted to Islam, turned his life around, and today is a thriving tattoo artist. If you're in Texas and you want to get a tattoo, make sure to DM him on Instagram. Link will be in the description. One of the most interesting criminal odysseys I've heard in a long time. It's part 2 of Tim Griesheimer right here on The Connect with Johnny Mitchell.
What's up, everybody? Before we get going, as usual, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do me a favor and smash that subscribe button and click the alert bell. It helps us out so much. All right, you asked for him. You loved him. One of the all-time great guests on The Connect. It's part 2 with Texas Tim. Enjoy.
And if you give a dirty UA, is that it?
It depends on, no, see, Texas is actually light on that, bro. That's one of the reasons why I stayed here and I didn't leave. Because I have like family and friends in other states, but I was investigating parole in other states, and like if you get like a dirty UA, they'll put you back in prison.
Right.
Where
But
like
here they won't do that.
They're not allowed to do it anymore. They can make you go do a program, but you got to like
Or you might go to jail.
Yeah, you might go to
in
jail.
Oregon, they're not going to send you back to prison, but you might go like do a month in the county or something like that.
But not behind no, like weed. You got to piss hot. That's the only drug that I with is bud.
Right.
And you know, I don't with hard drugs. I mean, I've done ecstasy before. I tried coke like a couple of times, like a little key bump when I was drunk. But like anything else beyond that, I've never. I don't drugs, and that's never been my kick, dog. I like to be sober. I like to know what's going on. Like I don't even drink. Like you know, I don't do like. You know, when I get off parole, I will smoke again. I don't know if it's going to make me paranoid or whatever, because they say if you don't smoke for a long time, but I at least want to smoke one more time before I die, just because.
So you were smoking in the pen?
Yeah, but not all the time, bro, because if you get popped, you know, it's you know, an automatic set off. You go to closed custody. So I would smoke, but not a lot. When I went back the second time, I didn't smoke at all.
Yeah. So you got home, you were how old when you came home the first time?
I was almost 24.
Okay, so you're still young, but you've lived through some grown man trauma.
Yeah. And I had to go to the halfway house. So like I had no, like my uncle stayed here, but like I didn't with him. None of them wrote me. My mom wasn't in the state anymore. And my uncle, you know, not to shit on him because he's cool as doesn't stay here. I think he stays in like Minneapolis or something. He was a drunk. You know what I'm saying? But so I had to go to a halfway house when I came home. I had to do 3 months there. But about like the grown man, what's crazy is like when I was in prison, all my workout buddies were way bigger than me. But you fail to realize when you're in jail, they feed you 3 times a day. But I didn't even go to chow because I had so much commissary. I just spread all day long with my homeboys. Right. Like, who's cooking? Who's cooking? And then I'm working out. I'm small in prison, but when I come home, I'm bigger than all these. So I remember my ex-girlfriend, I came home, I called my mom, and then she's like, hey, her name was Bobby. So she was like, hey, Bobby wants you to call her. And I'm like, you still talk to her? She's like, yeah. So I called her and they gave me like a 4-hour pass from the halfway house to go like buy some clothes or whatever, to hygiene. And we went to the mall. I remember we were walking and she was like looking at me, and I'm in a white tee and like some Dickies because that's how I used to dress, right? So I'm in some white tee and some Dickies, and she's like looking at me, and I looked at her. She keeps looking at me, and I was like, "What's up?" And she's all like, she touches my chest. I was like, "What you doing?" She's like, "Man, you're a man." And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Man, I remember you were a scrawny kid." She's like, "You're a man.
Right.
And so when we were walking, I'm like, why does everybody keep looking at me? Because I'm smiling, I'm happy, I'm glad I'm home.
Yeah.
And she's like, because you look like a wolf.
Right.
She's like, your eyes are different, Tim. She's like, your eyes are different. She's like, I don't even want to know I don't want to hear no stories. I don't want to know nothing about you type.
So you really, you jumped into the game. You jumped into the dope game.
Quick. That was my whole plan.
Okay. Yeah. Tell us about
that was the whole plan.
Were you making contacts behind the wall?
Yeah. Like I'm making contacts, but like when I come home, all that switched up. So like a chick I grew up with her. She was a stripper. She had came to see me in prison a couple times with my mom. My mom had contacted her and told her I was in the halfway house. So she came to see me at the halfway house. And we were talking, and then her cousin, me and him were like best friends coming up. So I was like, where's Jeremy at? And she's like, oh, he's this and that. And she's like, man, he's bad. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, oh, he's on that ice. And I'm like, the f is ice? And she's like, meth. So I'm like, for real? So like a light bulb kicks off. And she's like, everybody out here is on this. And I was like, ain't that like some biker or something? And she's like, nah. She's like, man, everybody's on it. Da, da, da. And she's like, you remember a friend of ours? I ain't gonna say his name because he's home now. He got out the feds. But he was my first plug. And she's like, you remember such? I'm like, yeah. She's like, man, he's the guy. And I was like, for real? She's like, yeah. So I was like, tell him I'm home. I want to talk to him. And she calls her cousin. Her cousin comes and sees me. I've never seen a person on meth before. This fool pulls up in a white Dodge Ram 3500 diesel, jumps out, hair's all crazy, scraggly beard, tweak gig, and I'm in the halfway house. I'm like, I'm like, bro, you can't be pulling up here like this. And he's like, what's up? And I'm like, dog. And I'm like, hey, when I get out of here, like, I want you to help me make some moves happen. He's like, just fly straight, bro. Like, do the right thing. Like, just fly straight. Like, that was like the crazy thing. Like, so many people with me so tough that when I came home from the pen, everybody who was like breaking the law, they didn't want me to break the law. They were like, bro, just stay home. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're tripping, bro. You just came home. Like, and I was like, because I was still institutionalized. I didn't give a about going back to jail. Right. Because I knew I could make it. Like, I was just like, man, I don't give a like, I don't care about jail for these fools. Like, that's just where my mind was. So I did 90 days in the halfway house because they made you. And then you have to give them your whole paycheck. Dude, so I was working construction, dude. I was getting paid like $9.50 an hour. Man, I think I was making like $400 a week or something after taxes. And they took all of it besides $25. So I got paid every Friday or something. I might have been making $5.50 a week. I don't remember.
How were they able to take it? Like restitution?
No, so when you go to the halfway house, the rule of the halfway house is they take your check, so they put it in a savings for you.
Oh, I see.
So when you get out, like, some people don't have nowhere to go. So if you got all this money saved up, then you can get an apartment or something. So I stacked up in like 3 months. I think it was like $3,300, $3,500, something. And as soon as I got out, that chick I was talking about, that dancer, we went shopping, and then we came back, and then Jeremy went to go see the plug because the plug didn't want to deal with me at first because when I was younger, I was always jacking. Right. So that's what they knew me for, as a jack boy. So he's like, I don't want to meet him because they was afraid I want to be on the same. Fool just came home from prison. You know the stigma. You come home from prison, crazy. Damn, he was banging down there with blacks. That fool's definitely crazy. So, man, the fool brings over a ball. So I'm like, all right, how are we gonna sell it? So he's like, I'm gonna take you to this trailer park, and we'll pump out the trailer park. And I'm like, all right. So I had never, but like before then, I had only dealt like bud, like I told you, like the blunts and like that. So we go to the trailer park, and there's all these meth addicts in and out of this house. They're playing this dice game called 10,000. I think it's called like Farkle too. Like you have like 5 or 6 dice and you try to roll like doubles and triples. They're sitting around, they're passing the bolo around, like the glass pipe, and smoking it. So I'm looking at these, and I'm like, And everybody always said this about me, like, man, you always on some mob. So I'm thinking in my head, like, man, I'm gonna go to jail quick doing this. So with ice, like with meth, you can sell it $10 a point. So you can sell it $100 a gram. So my homeboy, he's telling me, he's like, look, there's 2 ways you can sell this. You can either go point for point with this. He goes, which you're gonna get the most money. Even though he was a dope fiend, he was smart. So he was like, you're going to get the most money this way. He goes, but just think, he goes, you got a ball, you got 3.5 grams. He's like, say you sell it point for point, you can make $350 off of it. He goes, but say it takes you a week to make that $350. You didn't make, you do dry risk going to prison. Mm-hmm. He's like, or you can dump this off right now for $150 and then hurry up and go re-up. And he's like, you got it for $100, so you make a quick 50. He's like, and if it starts catching, then your product is moving. So I was like, well, let's do it the first way first. So I'm trying to do the whole point for point. It's like, you know, like the meth game, it's a real paranoid game, right? Like it might be different now, but back then, like you remember I told you about like the Snowden, like these, yeah. Like these are super paranoid, like. You know, they don't want, when smartphones came out, they didn't want everybody I dealt with, they didn't want no smartphones around them. They didn't want even like DVD players. They're like, they're watching us. It's got a camera on it. Cover up the camera. Like they were spooked about it like that. Yeah. So like,
it turns out they were right.
They were right. They were right, dog, right? The first thing went through my head when I heard about Snowden. I was like, what the these fools were on to something. Yeah. So, it took me probably like 3 or 4 days to move that ball. And I was like, all right, let's do it your way. So then we start getting a little action, flipping a little bit. I'm selling some powder. My homie gets out the joint. We go to Houston. We pick up from another homie in the joint. We go to Acres Homes and we get like some X pills. This when X pills were good. Like you would roll for like eight hours and you could sell them for like 25 a pill back then in like the 06 era. So we were going to Houston and getting pills and coming back. So I'm moving a little pills, just like petty shit. And so I'm like basically a one-stop shop, but the coke don't click. The X pills, when I go to the strip club to hang out with the chick who wound up becoming my girlfriend for a little while, I'm basically kind of giving them away, like trying to be cool, like get in with these dancers. I know they can plug me in with people. And then I'm slowly moving up. Now I'm getting a quarter. Now I'm getting a half a zip. And I'm not getting nothing fronted to me. And then finally I purchased my first zone. So like back then, like zips were going for like 1,000. You know, you could let them go for like 1,200, 1,500, 1,250. 9 was like a deal. Like you were getting them for 9, just buying one, you were getting a deal. But my plug was the guy. But I really don't know how good he's got it because he won't with me. He's middlemaning me through my homeboy, but he knows me because we went to school together. So then finally he pulls up. And my homeboy goes out there and chops it up with him. He's like, bro, why don't you just deal with Tim? Like, he's the one doing it. He's not on that no more. Dude's trying to make some paper. So he's like, all right, give me his number. So I had been home. I'd been out on the streets for like almost, 2 months, something like that. It's getting close to Thanksgiving. So I'm moving a couple zips a week, nothing real serious. So this fool texts me. He's like, hey, bro, it's such. And I'm like, hey, what's the deal? He's like, I'm about to pull up, come outside. So I'm like, all right. So I go and I jump outside with him. He's like, hey, I'm going to take you with me. Don't tell nobody what you see. So I'm like, all right, bet. So we go to one of his spots. He had multiple houses set up across town.
This is a white guy?
No, he's a SA.
All right.
Yeah, he's Mexican. You want the real plug, it's got to be brown, dog.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So we go to the apartment. He's like, don't ever tell nobody you came here. Don't ever tell nobody nothing. And I'm like, all right. So he goes back and he's got this big ass safe. He's a short, probably like 5'4", something like that. It's got a little keypad. He spins the deal, unlocks it. I've seen a pound of weed before, but I ain't never seen no weight. I mean, this got, I don't know, guesstimate probably like 8-9 keys of coke in this. So he brings out 5 keys, leaves the safe open, and I see like these like Tupperware bowls. This was the first and last time I had ever seen it like this in real life. So he's got these Tupperware bowls like this big, but they're wrapped up. And that's what the clear was in, the ice.
Shards, just big ass shards.
Big ass shards.
That's pure.
Yeah. So he brings it in he brings out the coke, sets it on the counter, gets a trash bag, cuts it open, and throws it over this like circular table. So he comes out with the triple beam. He puts them each on the triple beam. He's not telling me what he's doing. So then he gets a knife and he cuts open around the top of the key. And, you know, don't know, like, that shit's wrapped a lot, bro. Like, it ain't, you know, it's not easy to cut through. It's not easy to peel back. So he's like, I just want to peel it back without it breaking. So he pops it back and then he shows me the stamp on it. So I'm like, what is that? It's a scorpion. So he's like, I just want you to know where I was like, I don't know. Honestly, like, I didn't want to know too much anyways. Like, because I don't want you thinking I'm telling on you. Because, you know, when somebody gets in trouble, the first thing everybody says, they're telling it. So I'm the type of person, I don't want to know too much. But I'm a loyalist. Like I told you, I'm about that tribe. So to me, like, I look at my plug like he's feeding me. So I'm going to ride for him. Like, he's putting food on my table. So he gives me some gloves. He's like, you still on paper? And I'm like, yeah. And he gives me a face mask. He's like, put that on. So we start breaking down the powder. This is my first time ever seeing, like, powder like this. And we break down all those keys, and then I ride around with him and he drops all that shit off, right? Running in, dropping shit off, coming back, whatever. And didn't collect any money, just dropped all it off. So when we go back to the apartment, he goes into that safe, which he left open, and he brought out one of those keys and he hands it to me. And I'm like, what is this? And he's like, it's a key. And I'm like, how much is in here? And he's like, 36 zips. I'm moving a couple zips a week, dog. Like, I'm like, what the am I supposed to do with this? He's like, I'm gonna give you 2 weeks to get rid of it. I said, bro, I don't know people that buy like this, dog. I'm moving grams and teeners and balls. Like,
he gave you a key of meth?
Meth, yeah, of clear,
wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So he's like, look, he's like, do you know how much a brick goes for? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like a half a key. And I'm like, no. He's all like, a half a brick goes, he's like, from a good plug, 9,000, 10,000. You can let him go 12, 13. He's like, so the key is 20, 22, 23. He's like, I'm gonna give this to you for 11,000. Wow. And I'm like, he's like, do you understand what I'm telling you? You can control the street value now. He's like, all those people that you're selling balls to for this, for that, he said, tell them you got them for this number. He goes, watch what I tell you. They're gonna come and you're gonna start. He's like, bro, this gonna be gone in less than a week. He goes, this is fire, bro. Ain't nobody got this around here.
Wow. What town is this in Texas?
This is in Temple.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is
the little ass town.
Wow.
So we go back to the house, and I remember I'm riding with this fool, and this fool, he's going to Houston getting jewelry. Fool's dapper and diamond necklaces, and we're riding. I don't know if you ever heard that Bun B song when Bun B dropped that Trill album when Pimp C got locked up. We're riding that good weed, good drink, big money, man. And this fool sipping serve and riding. He got them. So like when people would sell serve, like if you don't buy the whole pint, they'll have it in a baby bottle, so they can measure, you know, the ounces and. So he got the baby bottle right there. We're riding. He didn't smoke weed or nothing. I did no drugs. So I'm like, I'm getting kind of intoxicated. I'm like, all right, this is the guy right here. I'm with the right click. So boom, I go in the house. I call my homeboy and my other homeboy to the back room. They're both smokers though. So we get a knife. We cut all the wrapping and off the. We pop open the bowl, and it's these long ass shards, like they're like yellow clear. You could shake it, like if you put it in a bag and it'll go like shh, shh. It kind of sounds like change.
Wow.
Shh, 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 like that. And they're like, what the f-? He's like, I told you. He's all super crunk, because that dude, my homeboy, he's the one that blew that cat up. Like that cat was like a low level dealer, but because of him, he blew him up. So he's always has a soft spot for him. Right. That's why he could put that word in for me to get in good with him.
Right.
So like once a year, they do a sweep. I don't know if they do it anymore, but they used to do a sweep in Central Texas. So I move that bird, and then he gives me one more, and it's right around Thanksgiving time. Next thing you know, I'm getting a phone call the next morning. Hey, fool, such-such's been busted. They hit all the spots. Like, so what he would do is, you remember I told you about the apartment with the safe? So say he knew you, and because he would with squares. He actually put me on to doing this because he had told me, he said, bro, don't with other dealers. Don't hang out with thugs. Hang out with people who got jobs. Because he even had a job. Even moving all that dope, he had a job. Like, he did construction.
Wow.
Like, because he was like, this is what you do. He's like, don't drive fly cars. Just, like, hang out with people. He's like, because then if you hang out with people who don't do bad, you can fly under the radar for a long time. So I'm like, all right, bro. So I just kind of was blowing him off. But once he got popped, I took his into consideration. So so what he would do, like, say he knew you, and he'd be like, hey, bro, let me put you, say you had an extra room in your house. He'd be like, you use that bedroom back there, that other room? You'd be like, nah. He'd be like, bro, let me put a safe in there and a lock on the door. I'm the only one that's going to have a key. And he's like, and I'll pay you like $10,000 a month. Who's going to say no to that?
Of course.
But all those people that when they raided their houses and they had to bust in that door to get, all of them turned on them.
Obviously.
They knew there was work in there. They didn't know how much, but, you know, they all told on him. But he actually wound up getting out on that First Step Act.
Let's talk about AI, you guys. We're all starting to get used to it. You know, you're talking into ChatGPT all day, but do you ever think about how insane that is? You're just dumping all of your personal thoughts onto this server, and it's taking that information and distributing it and making it its own. It's crazy, right? Pretty soon we're going to have absolutely no privacy. And that's why I want to talk to you about this episode's sponsor, Venice.ai. Venice.ai is essentially what would be a VPN to the use of the internet. That's how I would describe it. Venice lets you use top AI models completely anonymously. I'm talking ChatGPT, Claude, all of it. But your prompts aren't tied to your identity. They basically act as a layer in between, so it's not connected back to you. And the big thing for me is your conversations are encrypted and stored on your device, not sitting on a server somewhere. That's huge. No accounts, no tracking, none of that. It's built around your idea of privacy and ownership, like your thoughts should actually belong to you. If you're using AI a lot, but you don't love the idea of someone looking over your shoulder, this is definitely worth checking out. Go to venice.ai/theconnect and use code THECONNECT for 20% off a pro plan. That's 20% off at venice.ai/theconnect with code THECONNECT. Use AI, just don't give up your privacy to do it.
Okay, so your plug got popped in those raids.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what did you do?
So I still had to work, right? So I'm freaking the out. So my homeboy, he's like, bro, this is how this fool blew up. He's like, because all these people done got hit. It's everybody's talking about. The streets are talking about. They done came in and did this sweep. So he's like, look, you're the only one that's got this, bro. And people are blowing us up. So now the people that we're getting, now they want more because the streets is dried up. So for like a couple of days, I'm spooked. Like, I'm scared. I don't want to make no moves. And he's like, bro, you got to fade the storm, bro. He's like, you say you want to eat. You say you want to make this money. This is how we're going to make the money. And I remember that day when he was talking to me, it was Thanksgiving Day. And bro, I was like, start answering the phone because everybody would call him. Nobody would call me because I wanted to insulate myself so nobody could talk to me. So everybody started calling him. Man, we got rid of that bird dog. Man, I don't even think it took 24 hours. That bitch was gone. Yeah. And I had all this bread. So I'm hearing that his people
selling it in ounces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight dude is gone, dog. And I'm letting him, because there's none there, I'm letting him go for 15.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, if it's 15 across the board, I don't give a how many you buy. Like, you gotta give it to me. So now I got all this money, but I got no plug. So now I'm like waiting on a call because I know somebody's gonna call me for this bread, but I don't know what to do. So I'm driving down this boulevard in Temple, and I see my homeboy that I was in prison with, a Mexican cat. I see him, he's got an SUV, and I'm like, what the f-? So I bust a bitch, pull up in the gas station, I jump out, I'm like, what's up, fool? Ooh, this fool's actually like a hardcore drug addict now, right? It's a shame. He's got a mouthful of top and bottom golds. This is when like the grills were popping and shit. He's like, what's up? He's out talking, showing his grill and shit. I'm like, what you got going on, fool? And he just reaches in the center console of the SUV and pulls out a big ass pound Ziploc baggie full of shards. He's like, this is what it is. And I'm like, so I tell him, I'm like, bro, I'm like, what's up? I got some paper. I was like, I need a plug. And he's like, oh, you around? I'm like, yeah. I was like, my plug just got popped. Well, they know my plug. So he's like, who is it? And I was like, I don't want to say no names. Like, I don't want to, say nothing, but he just got popped. And he's like, well, what are you trying to get? I was like, bro, I'm trying to get a brick, half a brick. But like, that's what I need. Like, what's up? He's like, all right. So we exchanged numbers. He's like, I'm going to call you tomorrow. So I forgot to tell you. So at one part during the story, when I went to go meet him, my homeboy jumped in the car with him, and he had another Mexican in the car with him. So he was like, tell Tim to get in the car. So I went in there and I jumped in the car with him, and there was another Mexican in the front seat that had just got out the feds. He's actually in the feds right now. So he's like, hey, what's up, fool? He's like, hey, this is my homeboy right here. And I was like, hey, what's up, dog? And he just like looked back at me like that. And he's like, what's up, cuz? So like a lot of Mexicans, like in Central Texas, they say cuz. They're not like Crips or nothing, but they just be like, what's up, cuz? That's how they talk. So he's like, what's up, cuz? So he's like, if anything ever happens to me, holler at this fool. So I'm thinking in my head, how am I going to holler? I'm going to know this. Well, that dude was a plug too. So he's supplying my homie that I'm in the joint with. So the next day he calls me. We go out to the house. I take 50 bands out there. We go out to this house in the country in a little town called Belton. So we go out to the country. So when I go in there, he tries to sell me a QP. But there's a Crown Vic on 2022s or 24s, all 5% limo 10. I can't see who's in it, but I can see it's a car full of motherfuckers. And I'm like, bro, I don't need this. Like this, you already know, bro. Like if you're moving weight, like if I'm moving weight, like what the is 4 zips gonna do for me?
Yeah, it's already gone.
Yeah, it's like that ain't shit. You're wasting my time. Like I got 50 G's in my bag. Like I'm riding with a case. I'm on paper. You're playing games, homeboy. So he was just like, tell me who your plug is. And I'm like, bro, because they're trying to see if I'm a Fed or not. That's what he's really doing. And I'm like, bro, I'm not telling you who he is. But when I come out, I'm like, bro, when you got something for real, like he's like, I can get you more. I said, well, then holler at me when you got it. So when I leave and come out, that dude that was in the car with my plug, he's in that Crown Vic looking at me. So he immediately recognized me. So I jump in the truck with my homeboy. We're driving. My homeboy's driving. And I got a Beretta on me. One of them, you know, the Berettas, the 9mm, like the 90 cop pistols. So I got this Beretta on me and we're riding. These start following us. We're going down this lumpy ass dirt road. My homeboy's in that big ass 3500 I'm telling you about. So he's like, you want me to leave these? I said, no, let them follow us. So we come out, we hit the pavement, we bust a right. We're on the access road next to the highway. So we go to get on the highway. I said, get on the access road, hurry up and like pull a quick one. So he got over, they follow us. So I'm like, man, what the f-? And he's like, what you think they're trying to jack? I said, man, shit, dog. I said, it is what it is. Let's make this shit happen. So I said, pull over at the gas station. When you pull over, I said, I'm going to jump out. If they're on some trip shit, I said, I'm going to bust on them. Just drive off, fool. Drive off, save that money and you know, keep it what it was. Like, cause like I told you, I'm like still institutionalized. Like I don't care type shit. So we pull up to the gas station and you know, the truck is so big, it has like that metal step bar deal. So I open up the door and I got on some baggy ass sweats and shit. That's when big clothes were still in, right? Like the big Sean John jeans and shit. So I jump out and I put my right foot on the bar and my left foot on the ground and I raise my shirt up and I'm like, what's up, fool? But I got my hand on the pistol. I'm like, what's up, dog? What y'all want? So homie rolls the window down and he's like, say, cuz, come here. But he's driving. He's like, come here, cuz. And I'm on this side. So I walk over and he's like, what's up, bro? And I'm like, because like I told you, I only saw half his face. But his voice, I remembered. But I can't remember where I know it from. So I'm like, what's up, fool? He's like, I was in the car with homeboy. Will you remember? I'm like, oh, shit. He's like, Ben, he just got busted. I said, I know. And he's like, what you trying to do? And I was like, well, I owe him this bread and I'm waiting on a phone call. I was like, but I got my own bread. I'm trying to make some moves. What's up? I got a feeding frenzy on my hand. So he said, come to my house. So we go deep into the woods, go to his house. We go in the garage. This just pulls out one of them like big ass like commercial black thick trash bags, bro. Sets it on the ground and he has like you know the tubes at the bank through the drive-through, tubes like that of clear.
Wow.
And I'm talking about this hoe is stacked up, dude. Wow. Like, and he's like, how many you need? And I was like, well, what is it? And he's like, they're half bricks. And I'm all like, well, shit, bro. I was like, I got 50. So whatever you'll do for me for 50. He's like, what do you think you can move? I said, well, I know. And I'm like, honesty is my best policy. So I'm going to be straight up with you. So I was like, well, this is what I'm moving. I don't know what I can get rid of. Like how fast it'll move. I don't know. I just know that my shit's on fire right now. So he was all like, all right, bro. He's like, you think you can handle 12 of them? And then I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't want to vouch for something. And then you're pissed off and you think I'm playing games and shit like that. And he's like, just take 12 of them. And he's like, can you move bud? And I'm all like, I don't know. I really don't with it like that. He's like, I got it for cheap. So like, back in the game before Dro started hitting down here, right? Everybody used to smoke that basic ass swag, that backyard boogie shit. But in Cali, their Reggie is like real good. Well, back then it was, right? So here in Texas, they called that mint green like popcorn bud. They called it popcorn weed. So they call it like high mids. You know what I'm saying? And you could get that shit from Dallas like a, because like Dallas, I think it's like a hub for Cali, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Because like when like the lean was out there at one point in time, like when the lean dried up, like I would go out there and get pints from Dallas or Fort Worth for like $3.50, $2.50, shit like that. When it got hard to get, because I was with that shit for a second. But it was all coming from Cali. Like every time I dealt with somebody out there, they're like, "This comes from Cali. This comes from Cali." So he had another trash can in the garage, trash bag full of that bud. He's like, "Man, I'll get this shit to you, $2.50 a brick." Bricks were going for like $550, $600 at that time. I was like, "For real?" He's like, "Yeah." He had another thing full of Xanax bottles. And he's like, "I got a pharmacist, bro. Whatever you need, I got you." Ooh, he's like, "Just call me in a couple days, cuz." I'm like, I bet. So we just started running it like that. And I was with him for a minute. And then
so you're moving 12
bricks a week, sometimes 15. Yeah,
kilos,
like
kilos?
like clockwork.
How are you selling that out?
Bro, I got so spooked when I got it. Like, that's how I know when I hear be talking, because the first time you land with some shit like that, bro, you're shitting bricks.
Oh,
I don't give a what you're talking about. Like, unless you're just like, I might have been kind of wild, but I put that shit in my car, and all of a sudden the realization was like, I'm going, if I get caught with this, I'm done. It's a wrap.
Yeah, because you're like 5 months out of prison.
Yeah, I'm like, this
Beretta on you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so. It's so country, bro.
Oh,
it's so federal, as we used to say.
Yeah.
That shit is fetty.
Man, dude, I used to be a pistol packing motherfucker, bro. I'm a weapon fanatic. I love. That's the worst thing they did to me when I became a felon was I love weapons. I'm just one of those. I like weapons, like not to hurt people. I'm just fascinated with weaponry. I love them. Well, I had a homeboy that had a horse stable out in the country. Like, that was the crazy thing about meth, bro, was like, I got put on with so many people that had businesses. Like, you would never know they're with this shit. Right. So I had people in all walks of life. So I called dude up that was out in the country, had a horse stable. And I was like, "Bro, I need to come out to your house and holler at you real quick." So he's like, "Yeah." So I shoot out there. And he was a smoker. You know what I'm saying? Actually, he didn't even smoke it. He broke it down into liquid because he didn't want his wife to know he was doing it. Right. So he kept a little dropper, and he would drop it in his coffee.
Crazy. Bro.
And then I was like, "How do you go to sleep at night?" He's like, he'd either take Xanax, or he said, "Sometimes I just play like I'm asleep." I was like, "So you fake asleep at night with your wife next to you?" Like, how long? Because like meth has like physical effects. Like, once you start staying up like that, you start to look different. Their skin gets oily. You can smell the chemicals coming out of it. Like, it's a different effect type shit. So when I get out there, I was like, "Hey, bro, I got these birds." I was like, "I need to hide them out here." So we wind up hiding them in his horse stable. And the people that were calling me, like, say you called me for 4 zips. "Hey, I need 4 zips." I basically repeated that dude's line. I said, "What can you move, bro?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "What can you move? If you can move 4, if I give you 4, how long will it take you to get rid of the 4 that I give you?" I was like, "Because I owe somebody some money, but I need to get this shit gone, like what I got. So I'll you what you buy, or I'll give you, if you can get," because like, dude, just like, so there's people like in the game that they got mad clientele, but they ain't got the connect. And then there's people that got to connect, but they don't got no clientele. So it's, it's like that. But it's like, sometimes just because a is only buying a QP, he might be able to move way more than that, but he just doesn't have the money. Yeah. Maybe he don't want to ask and be indebted for that type of shit. So basically what I was doing is I was trying to front out as much as possible. I had everybody, I knew they were going to buy. And then I was just trying to dump off, because it was like, I didn't want the shit near me. Like, I wanted to get rid of it. So like, after that, basically my job was like every 3-4 days, I would just be riding around picking up money. Mm-hmm. and I would always pay the connect first. But it was a crew of us. So we were making so much bread. There was a group that like tried to extort us. They never said nothing to me, but they tried to extort them. You know what I'm saying? A group it's a prison group. They were trying to extort them, and they never said nothing to me. I know they were like,
like you were trying to get a group in prison, based in prison, was trying to extort dudes on the street.
Yeah.
That's like some Mexican mafia shit.
Yeah.
Did you know about that? About
Yeah.
La M? I don't know about the rest of the country, but in California,
They did that in Cali.
they get street dealers to kick up money to them. It's like, dude, how are you that powerful? You're incarcerated, but you're demanding a tax off of all of your soldiers.
So
it's crazy.
From what I was told is that the dude that's in the feds now, I guess he was with them in the feds or something. I don't know if he was one of them. I never asked. But that was how that connection got made. And I remember when I went out to his house, he was like, hey, if these people come to you, he said my name was brought up. And I'm thinking, how's my name brought up? Like, I don't even hang out with drug dealers. Like, I had got insulated to the point to where, like, I just made moves. Like, I wasn't, bro, like, I would be in, as soon as the sun went down, if the sun went down at 6, 7 o'clock, I was on I-35 coming down here to Austin, going to the strip club. Going to Perfect 10 and Round Rock and going, it's called Rick's Cabaret now, but it used to be called Joy. I was in both those clubs down here on 6th Street. Like, I was a strip club bandit, dog.
What was that strip club in Austin I went to? It was like 2013. It was a bring your own beer strip club.
Shit, it might have been the Pink Monkey or...
I couldn't tell you, but it was some of the nastiest bitches I've ever seen. It was so perfect to be at like a bachelor party. These bitches had like BO. One of them was like growing a tail. It was wild. And we were in there with a 24. Like, it was a bring your own beer strip club. We were like, yo, Texas is different.
Yeah, dude, Texas's fully nudes, bro, are ratchet, dog.
Oh, we were dying laughing.
Yeah.
We were like, this shit is crazy. These like creatures. They should have been called creatures.
They'll be having gunshot wounds and shit like that. Like, there was one in Waco called Sunny Tees. And I remember me and all my homeboys, they wanted to come to Austin for my buddy's birthday. And then the one dude was like, nah, let's go to Sunny Tees. And I was like, Waco? And, you know, Waco is like, you see like them backwoods ass white people. Like, they look like the hills have eyes type shit, bro. Like, straight up. And Waco, like, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like, people say like Texas is like a real racist place. Let me tell you something, dog. Like, there's pictures you can look up of Waco where they were like hanging and shit. Like, when you go to Waco, you feel like you step back in time. Like,
you been with like lynching? Black
yeah.
It's
Like,
crazy.
but dude, like, it's just very oppressive there. Like, so we wound up going to Sunny Tees, bro. I remember we went in there. It was so nasty, and I was like, dog. I walked out. I'm like, bro, I'm not coming in this. Like, I need to be around some high end shit. Like, I'm like, I around in the strip clubs not to buy dances is because when I came home from prison the first time, when I went to a real club, there used to be a club in Temple called Denim and Diamonds. I had a panic attack because just walking and bumping me, brushing my back. Right. And when I went to prison the first time, like, you don't get up on somebody's back, dog. So like, I was like looking, and there was a lot of the cops were in there. And they knew who I was because, like I told you, when I had hit them licks on all them houses, one of them was the sheriff. Right. So when you come home, they let everybody know you're home. So I'm not even supposed to be in this, but they're cool. They ain't tripping. And they would come to me and they're like, because I had took a beer and I poured it out because I wasn't even in there drinking. I just took a beer and I went in the bathroom and poured it out and put it in my back pocket. Just in case. And they were like, Tim, why don't you go home, bro? And I'm like, what do you mean? And they were like, you look like you're not having a good time. So when I went to the strip club the first time with that chick, I was calm because nobody could get up on me. I'm chilling.
So why were you in there? Why did you love going to strip clubs so much?
Dude, because it was, you get to see naked chicks.
That's a good point.
But like,
what a gay question I just asked.
You get it, but that shit kind of made me feel perverted for a little while. But that's why I never bought no dances. Like, the only time that I ever bought dances in the strip club is if I was extremely intoxicated. Like, I had to be like really drunk or rolling on ecstasy, and it would like break my morals down. But no, because when I went in there, because when that chick took me in there, she was introducing me to so many strippers. And you know the crazy thing about male and female dynamics is if a female can really tell that you're not trying to sleep with her, she'll with you hard, bro.
Oh yeah.
So when they saw that I wasn't in there, like trying to with them, and then they saw I had money, because I used to like fold my money in $100 stacks. So bro, like I told you, I'm wearing Sean John jeans, Rockaware jeans. Like when Jeezy said I can fit 100,000 in these dude, I used to keep 40 G's on me at all times, 10 racks in each pocket. I'll bust out, boom. I'll be like, whatever, bro. And they're like, why you ain't buying dances? I was like, well, what is it, $20 a song? Here, sit here for 4 songs. Here, you need $100? Right. Holler at me. Like I ain't in here for, I'm just in here to chop it up, because once they realized that I wasn't in there for that, dude, they started with me so tough. Like I said, I bounced between those 2 strip clubs all the time. They would call me, hey, come over here. It's live over here. I'm getting to go to VIP. I'm getting to hang out. Just networking. Like I met, big stock market dudes that were trying to invest money for me. That's like, I got to ride, I'll say his name. I don't even know if he's still alive. His name was Bill. Like the first condominiums that were built in downtown Austin, they're off Lamar, like Lamar and 9th or something like that. Okay. Over there by the Frescas or some shit like that, right in that area.
Right where that is,
yeah. Okay. Those were the first, if I'm not mistaken, the first condos built in downtown Austin. And this, because of the strip club, started calling me. He was trying to get me to invest my money because he was an investor. And he had a Porsche, he had a Ferrari. Like he took me riding around in the shit, brought me to his condo for after hours parties.
So you were just kind of using it to, I guess, meet people?
Yeah.
But you weren't meeting clients there. You weren't
No, hell no, because meth at that time was still an underground game.
Yeah.
Like that was a very hush-hush game. Like
it was like an underground. I remember when meth was really bubbling, no pun intended, in this era, the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
It was like this underground fraternity. And I had this dude who was really in the know. He was like, you guys don't know this yet, but like meth is this kind of like unspoken epidemic.
Yeah.
And then I went to jail and I really saw how prolific it was.
Yeah.
Because, that's where you meet people that are involved in the game. And yeah, it's like this dude is hiding 20 pounds of meth for me and he's a doctor.
Yep.
It was like, yeah, it was really a fascinating era. I remember that.
My homie that's in the feds right now doing 35, he had a doctor doing stuff like that for him. Like he had a house and a boat. He had a Mercedes, like the E-Class AMG kit or some shit. Like, dude, he had white gold and bottom. Like he had like 50,000 in his mouth. And I remember I asked him, because he took us out on his boat. I'm like, how you got all that? How are you doing it with the money? Because I always flipped like hoodoos. Like I always flipped cash cars.
Right.
Like I never, like, I didn't buy jewelry. I just wore new clothes all the time.
Right.
But I was like a big time partier. You know what I'm saying? And like, what's crazy, like that, so that clique like of dudes, like the higher up the food chain, they would steal me. So that first dude that I was getting work from, somebody higher than him stole me from him.
Right.
And then it went all the way up until I was with like one of the top.
Okay.
And
who was that? Tell us about that.
That was the white boy. That was the white boy. Yeah. He was doing his thing. He was making it happen.
What, you mean the white
dude with that I told you that's doing 35 in the Fed?
Oh, you mean, but he's Mexican though, right?
No, not he. These are all essays, but he's the only white boy, but he's higher up than them.
And he's the one serving all the Mexicans?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. How long did it take you to meet him after you started
selling? I met him off the rip, because we would like, sometimes I'd come over and they would all be over there, or they'd be barbecuing and they'd be like, hey, come over and kick it, cuz. And they'd be like, I'll be like, oh, I'm about to go to Austin. No, you always going to the strip club tricking with them hoes. And I'm like, I ain't tricking. Like, and then one time I took them out for one of the dudes, his birthday. I was like, bro, you want to go to the strip club? I was like, bring your chick, bro. So we all went to the strip club and we got VIP, and I was paying and they were paying too, but I was trying to do it on my dime. I'm just that type of person. I'm a real generous person. Like I'm a very good tipper. Like if we were to go to the bar right now, like I would tip like probably 50%. That's just the type of, like, you know, I'm just that type of cat. So they saw that I actually didn't trick. And then I knew all these females were like, bro, how you cool with these chicks? And I'm like, because they know I ain't trying to them.
So and you also weren't using meth.
No.
They must have recognized that right away, because most of the people that sell meth also use it.
They use it, yeah. I mean, most people that sell dope, any type of dope, they use their product, or they'll eventually get to use their product.
Right.
Even all those dudes use that shit.
Yeah.
They used it. The white boy was using it. I didn't even know it. One time I went to his house and he spazzed out on me, and he was like, who you talking to? Because I had got locked up on an assault case, and they had me on. They wouldn't let me bond out. And then finally I bonded out. So the first thing people were saying was he's telling, he got out of jail. I'm like, on a misdemeanor assault?
Right.
Like, what the f-? So I went to his house because I owed him some bread. And I just showed up at his house because he wasn't answering the phone. So I went to his shit. I seen his car was there. So I go and knock on the door. He opens up the door. He's all Buckeye and shit, skin all oily. I didn't even know he around like that. And I'm like, hey, bro. He's like, when the did you get out? And I was like, yesterday. So I go in there and I give him his money, and we're talking in the kitchen, and he's like looking at me all crazy, and he's got this goddamn John Deere knife. You know, them hunter's knives with like it looks like a bone handle type shit. Yeah. He's like got this knife right there, and I see he's got the bolo out with some clear on the thing, and I'm like, is this fool smoking? And next thing you know, he's asking me some questions, and we're close to each other, and he just like grabs the knife and turns and grabs me like that, and he puts it up to me. He's like, and he's done time before. He's like, you ratting, cuz? You rat? I'm like, dog, you're tripping, bro. And he's so spazzed out. His pupils were so big. And I'm like, but I was literally scared because I know he's crazy. He's like one of those, he's been shot and everything. He's a crazy white boy. Like, he's known, he's on the east side. Everybody knows him. So
he's out of Temple?
Yeah. So I'm like, bro, and what do you know what's crazy is that he used to be a hardcore dope fiend before he blew up in the game. He used to be a basshead. He used to smoke rock.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and he blew up. So he like kind of like did it reverse roll.
So how much was he breaking you off? Like, when you met him, did your business expand?
The only thing that happened was I never went higher than what I was getting. The only thing that happened was the price got lower.
Okay, so how much was he giving you? Are they selling it in keys or pounds?
Yeah, they were selling it in. So when I started with him, he was giving them to me in half in pounds. Yeah.
Okay.
So when I started with him, he was giving them to me for like 6,000
a pound.
Yeah, and I could let them go for 11, 12 all day long.
And you would just wholesale them.
I'd dump them off. I'd be like, bro, give me 8. Like, I was that type of guy. I'd be like, bro, give me 8. You can come get this.
So these are flying off the shelf.
Oh, they're taking the off.
Wow. So you could sell that. You could sell 12 kilos a week?
Easy. Every 8 to 10 days. Every 8 to 10 days, I was rotating. But I would always keep some back.
Yeah.
In case something happened.
You wouldn't sell them all. Yeah. In case one of your dealers up, you still have more work you could get on.
And the cool thing about being in that little crew was, like, say I would call homeboy and he'd be like, I ain't got nothing right now. It's going to be a couple days. Then I could just call one of the other dudes and be like, hey, what you holding? I'm going to have to pay a little more for it.
Right.
But it don't matter because it's still a deal. I'm still winning. Nobody's getting it at this price.
And keep your business
pumping.
Erectile dysfunction. Everyone's got it. Let's not even pretend anymore, okay? Even if you don't have it, don't you want the biggest, hardest boner you've ever had in your life? You got one chance to make a first impression. Get a big, fat, hard Hims, everybody. Hims, the first and last place online you will ever have to shop to get ED medicine, weight loss medicine, medicine for your depression, male and female. You can access personalized treatment options online. No awkward waiting rooms, no weird conversations. You connect with a licensed provider from your phone on your terms. In 10 minutes, you go online, bam, it's in the mail. They've got a range of treatment options, from personalized treatments to trusted generics that are way more affordable than the big name stuff, and it's not cookie cutter. This is real care tailored to you and what you actually need. To get simple online access to personalized, affordable care for ED, hair loss, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/connect. That's hims.com/CONNECT for your free online visit. hims.com/connect. Featured products include compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information. Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan.
Now, your Connect, the white boy, I thought you were talking about Barbie for a second. They call him Güero.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
You know
about.
what I'm talking
yeah.
about. He was raised. He's born in Nuevo Laredo in Mexico, but he was raised in Laredo, Texas. I thought he was the guy you were talking about. He was your plug.
Yeah, no.
But he was vicious.
Yeah.
He was mostly in Mexico when he was making his moves. Who was he? Your white boy, your connect. He must have had the straight Border Brothers
yeah, he
plug.
did, yeah.
He must have been working with, what year is this?
This was 07 era.
So he was probably either working with the Gulf Cartel. This is a little before the Zetas time. The Zetas were a break-off. They were security. You know who the Zetas
I dealt with
were.
one of them before.
Okay.
Yeah, he was crazy as
Yeah. Crazy as
him in the strip club. That's how I got it linked up with him.
Oh, wow.
He was, I did one deal with him and I never called him again.
You were like, man, I'm getting...
Dog, bro, like, you've been to prison, but have you ever been around people who've like murdered people before?
Cellmate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that. I look in their eye.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like, I ain't ever laid no game down like that, bro. And when you're messing with somebody who's like really like that, you know that's a different level of like mental, dog. Like it's like, and he was very like edgy.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to make some paper, bro. I ain't talking. I'm not on no bullshit, bro. Like, I'm not here to play you. Every time I talked to him, it was very on edge, even in the strip club. And then when I decided to do a deal with him, he just made it even more
sketchy than it needed to be.
Yeah, because when I went and dealt with him, there was like a SUV. So he was right here, I was right here. The SUV was right here, and it was full of Mexicans, full of paisa Mexicans looking at me. Just like, I was like, dog, nah. Like, I'm good, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not on that game.
Yeah, for sure. So, yes, but it was probably, your plug was probably working with those guys.
Yeah.
Those guys, but the lieutenants on the other side. Because that's the only way you can get that kind of price.
Yeah.
And he's able to hit off 4 dudes that still have the best price in whatever locale they're dumping it off in, right? That's insane.
Oh, they were all moving. They were all moving. They were probably moving more than me. They were definitely moving more than me, bro. Especially homeboy. They were. I don't even know truly what they were really getting, but I know that.
But this is millions of dollars.
Oh yeah. I mean,
millions
shit. You got to think. You got to think, dog. I was doing 220, low end 180, 190 every 8-9 days, 220, 240 in a small ass town.
And this shit happened overnight.
Overnight, bro. Overnight, turned the up crazy.
And you're still checking in with your PO?
Yeah, I'm still doing everything like it was nothing, dude. Like it was nothing.
Did it blow your mind? Like, you came from this environment, this zoo.
Yeah.
And you're kicking it with blacks. It's all blacks. And now your crew is like Mexicans and sketchy white guys.
Yeah. And dude, I had never seen like paper like that before, bro. So I remember he's a good friend of mine now. His mom, she took care of me when I was in prison the second time. So like we grew up together, and I remember I was at his house and he was living with his mom. He lived with his mom for a long time. Like, he's always been like a mama's boy, but like when his grandmother passed, he went through like a deep depression. So like, I was at his house one time and I had just went and rode around and picked up a bunch of bread, and I came to his house, and he does music. Like, he does like hip hop music, like the conscious rap hip hop shit, the shit that's not popular, but he can play, but he can play the piano and shit. So he has like this old piano that his grandmother had from back in the game. And I remember I pulled out the bag, bro, and I'm counting the money, and I'm sitting on top of the piano, and my hands are going like this, and my eyes started fluttering, and I had to step back. And I was like, went like this, and he was looking at me, and he was smoking weed, and he's like, "What's wrong, bro?" And I was like, I said, "Bro, do you know how much money is sitting right here, dog?" And I hadn't I'm just counting everything, but it's all lined up. And I'm like, "Do you know how much money is sitting right here, bro?" And he's like, "What?" I was like, "Bro, that's $250,000. And he's like, "What?" I was like, "Dog, could you believe somebody like me would see money like this?" And he was looking, he's like, "That's really how much it is?" And I was like, "Bro, count it with me. Let's count it." Like, and Because I was that type of dude. Like if we would go out and you would be like, I ain't got no money. Like say you worked and you're like, I don't got no money. And I'd be like, here, fool, I give you $500.
Yeah.
Let's go out. Well, I don't want to pay you back. It's yours. You don't owe me nothing. Have a good time. Act like it's yours. Like I just wanted people around me to like, to be cool and shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember counting up like, cause I would routinely have that kind of bread.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially if I was getting ready to go re-up or whatever. And I would just, bro, I would spend hours just like counting money alone, pre-internet.
Yeah.
I think about that era. I'll never be more alone. I don't want to say I was lonely, but I'll never be more alone than 2010 at the top. I had this whole townhouse and I lived on the top floor. The bottom floor was a family, and it was a super high-end area in Portland. You would have never known. It just overlooked the Willamette River, and I would just, no smartphones, and I'm just alone looking at all this bread, and I was like, wow, I'm the luckiest on earth.
Because like the more bread.
But that weed money was a lot harder than the meth money, but I had it click into where it was just grab it, dump it, get paid.
Oh, nah, shit. I got a homie who just got out the feds last year. From that area, black dude, that was dumping truckloads.
Crazy.
He is killing it. Fool got a Lambo and everything. I don't know if he sold it or whatnot, but I know he bought my car from me because the only coolest thing that I can say that I bought, like, because I never bought nothing like flashy and shit like that, but I had bought like an '88 Caprice Classic Brougham LS, short back, long front end with the cat eyes, the real glass headlights, bro. I got it off this old white man. He had it. It was like, bro, it had like 78,000 miles on it. Quarter rag top, pearl white paint job. It had like a little bit of chips in it and shit, but it still had the Caprice white, like with the white stripe tires and the hubcaps. And I got it. And I remember like had a 305 in it. And I remember like a week later it started puffing smoke. But I had a couple of mechanics on my team. So one of the mechanics, he had the same name as me, and I went to school with him. His name was Tim. So I'd go to his shop, and I'd give him work, and we'd fix the car. But if he got too twacked out, this be like, goddamn, he had a flashlight on his forehead. He'd be like, goddamn, Kim, like taking all shit, like taking. I'm like, what are you doing? So I had another mechanic that was a lick of mine, and I went to him, and we wound up taking the 305 out and putting the 350 in that.
Right.
And then I had the muffler on the back. I had put the muffler with the Chevy symbol on that bitch. I had it repainted pearl white with flakes in it. I had the quarter rag top redone. It looked like a brand new Caprice. I had that bitch sitting on 24s. I had the trunk
white
all
trash.
Yeah, dog. I had the trunk all banged out. I had the red wood grain steering wheel that I went and got from Houston. That wah, 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 wah. And then when I went on the run for the case that sent me back to prison, I had called my homie who just got out. Like he got out last year, I think, or the year before. I called him and I said, bro, you want to buy the Caprice? He said, what you want for it? I was like, what you give me for it? And he was like, shit, I'll give you $2,500 for it. I'm like, $2,500, bro? I'm putting you know how much money? He's like, shit, Tim. You obviously need the money. What you got going on? What you about to go on the run? Woo-woo. And I'm like, bro, I'm about to dip, fool. I was like, bring me the bread. Like, just bro, I sold that car for nothing. All the hard work I put into that car. Yeah.
Did your homies in prison know what was going on with you?
I was writing some of them, but then I fell off writing them.
Yeah.
Like, well,
you do.
It wasn't. So I only stayed in touch with the lifers, and then the couple of them I fell off because they weren't writing me back. And then my one homeboy, Fleabag, I'll shout him out. He's never getting out, bro. But maybe his brother and them will know. Man, coolest, bro. He had like 5-6 bodies on him, like ice water cool dude. He was one of the dudes that vouched for me as a bounty hunter and stuff like that. I was writing him. I sent him some bread, and then he wrote me and asked me to stop writing him.
Really?
And to let him, he said, man, put this life behind you, bro. Get on with your life. Do something positive. You know, you're too good for this, stuff like that.
Were there cell phones now? I didn't ask you that in the first episode. Are cell phones pretty big in Texas?
Oh, yeah, they had cell phones. The first time I was in there, I saw one. Never used it. When I went back the second time, them all got cell phones, they got watches.
Yeah.
But I mean, bro, that's if you get caught with that, you're talking like extra 5 years, 7 years, like
Crazy.
And bro, everybody's gonna tell it.
Yeah.
They're gonna tell it, dog, if you get caught with that. So I didn't even play like that. Like when I went back the second time, I just wanted to go home.
Okay, so how long were you on the streets before you caught your second case?
I was only on the streets a few years, bro. Like,
But you were moving
yeah,
the
dude,
whole time. You
yeah,
were making
yeah.
moves with meth.
Dude,
Wow.
this is what's crazy. So like,
So you touched millions of dollars.
oh, for sure. Wow. For sure. Yeah, yeah. I know personally that I had saved up $2 million.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
wild.
I personally I know that I had saved up $2 million, dog, and I didn't own shit, bro. What was so crazy is I was like a nomad. Like I would sleep on your couch. I go
Yeah.
sleep on his couch. Nobody knew where I lived at. I had isolated myself so much. I flipped nothing but hoodoo wagons. Like stayed so low key. The only time you would ever see me is like that club I told you about in Temple. It was called Denim and Diamonds. Every Thursday night, college night, they play like 4 or 5 country songs and then 4 or 5 like rap dance songs. I'd be in that bitch every Thursday, so you could catch me there. Otherwise, you'd have to catch me down here in Austin at the strip club.
Right.
That was my low key kick it in the strip club. Stay out the way. Get as soon as like I told you, every night, never fail, 7 days a week. As soon as the sun started going down, I was gone. I was a ghost. You didn't know me. I wasn't here. I didn't answer the phone. Like
When did you make your moves during the day?
all during the day, yeah.
Yep.
Because I would wake up, bro, to like 25, 30 missed calls. Like it was, dude, it was crazy, dog.
Nuts.
Like like all we were doing was riding around picking up money. That was like that lean, that drink.
Yeah.
I had got caught up with that shit for a second. Because you
using it?
Yeah, I was using it. I bought it too. Like I had a connect on it down here. He was originally from the H. He's a club owner in downtown. He's still down there, so I won't throw his name out there. But he had them pints. And you know the crazy thing about that drink, dog, is like when it went to the plastic pints, like people would cut it. So they'd get like that big ass syringe. I think you can get it from the grocery store. I never did it before, but they would heat the bottom of it where like the bottle comes together type shit, and they'd plunge into it and they would pull some of it out, and then they would inject it with like K-Row or something, and they would melt it back together. So some of them, they were so good at it that you couldn't see the bottom. So like how you could tell if your drink was cut, your lean is you put it in the freezer and the drink won't freeze. Yeah, but that shit was like candy, dog. But I had got on that shit for like a second drinking it. And then I remember one night I woke up in my bed and I had money like all over me on the floor. I walked to the car, I had money all over my car. And then like I usually like always kept like somebody with me 24/7. So I came back in and I woke my homeboy up and I was like, hey, where'd all this money come from? And he's like, you don't remember? And I'm like, nah. And he's like, bro, we rode around last night and you were just picking up money. And then a couple weeks later, I misplaced $10,000 and I couldn't find it. And I hate losing money. Like I just cannot stand it. Like, and when I couldn't find that $10,000, like, I don't know where I put it, what I did with it. My homeboy was like, well, you picked it up. And I never found it. To this day, I couldn't tell you where it went to. I stopped drinking it right then and there. I didn't touch that bitch ass shit again.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know if you guys have had this experience, but every time I leave a doctor's appointment, it feels like I got nothing out of it. They always tell you the same thing: sleep more, get more exercise, maybe drink more water. And then I leave and I still feel crappy. That's why I love using Superpower. Superpower is a telehealth company that does many things, including drawing your blood and checking for over 100 biomarkers with one lab test. Amazing. And they break everything down: your heart health, your hormones, your metabolism, your vitamin levels, all of it. Stuff you're just not getting from a normal checkup, or if you did, you have to pay a lot of money for. Superpower's been a real game changer. They don't just hand you numbers and send you on your way. You get a full personalized plan: what to take, how to adjust your lifestyle, what's actually going to move the needle. No more guessing. It's really turned my life around. I feel better. I have more energy. I recover faster after going to the gym. They laid out everything I needed to do, from diet to different kind of peptides. that they recommend feel better. Make this year the year you stopped guessing. Go to superpower.com and use code CONNECT at checkout for $20 off your membership. And when you sign up, make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Connect.
So you were really about your paper, like way more than drugs.
Yeah.
Even when you did dabble.
Yeah, I only, bro, the ecstasy thing, like when I had got caught up in the ecstasy, my homeboy that I was in the pen with, he got me on ecstasy with him. And when I would go out, even in the strip club, I would be extremely tense. I wasn't fun to go out with because I would just be sitting there watching everybody. Like even today, if I go to a restaurant, I sit watching the door.
Yeah.
Like I'm still like that to this day.
That's what your first prison bid did to you?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just like, bro, I still, when I take a shit, I take one boxer and leap it out and I shit with one short sitting over there, sitting on the toilet. My girl come in the bathroom, she's like, what the f are you doing? I'm like, what you mean? That's
everyone shit like this?
Yeah, I'm like, bro, I can't go to sleep without any noise because prison is so loud all the time and they wake you up all the time. I have to have like something going, like I can't, if it's too quiet, because in prison, like especially if you're in a violent prison, if it's too peaceful, something up is about to happen.
For sure.
It's about to get gangster. So like you need that little bit of drama to keep things cool. So like if it gets too quiet, I get paranoid. I'll get up and look around the window. My girl will be like, what the f are you doing? I'm like, you ain't hear that out there? Because even though I don't stay in a bad area, like where I stay at, like I stay right outside of downtown, like there's still dope fiends walking around. It's still shit. So, but yeah, I was about the money, bro. Like I was.
And you're picking up like lots of meth.
Yeah.
I mean, 12 pounds of meth or something.
Yeah.
12 pounds of meth at a time. Where did you have different stash spots? Did you have people running it for you?
Yeah. So, well, dude, in the future, I wound up landing a West Coast plug, and I wound up meeting him through his cousin. And I got a West Coast connect, so I eventually like stopped with them dudes altogether.
Oh wow!
I got a West Coast connect, and
also a Mexican guy.
Yeah, and he would just send me to a stash house, which was in some rich ass neighborhood, and I would just pick it up and go and I would drop shit off, and I would always go pick it up myself because I was always real slick about how I did shit. And then like I told you, I had mechanics that could put like stash spots in the car and shit like that. So like I'd be real slick, right? So I'd start up like a LLC. And I, have an LLC on there, and I'd have like the magnetic stickers on the side of the car, and then I'd put a button-up shirt on, and I didn't know how to do a tie, so I'd have a clip-on tie, and I'd have long sleeves because at this time I didn't have my hands tatted, so I only had my sleeves because I'm sleeved out and chest pieced out, and I only had this gun on the side of my neck. I didn't have this, and I didn't have this, so I put on long sleeves, I'd put on the clip-on tie, and I'd sit up straight, and I would drive just like this. And I'd have it in the spot, and like the car never smelled like bud. I even still to this day, I drive on cruise control.
Yeah.
Like, that's like the number one way get busted a lot of times, like petty ass traffic stops.
Yeah.
So when I landed that plug right there.
That was a better plug?
Yeah.
Sounds like it. You get a better ticket?
Man, I was getting them hoes for 3 G's.
3,000 a pound?
Yeah. He gave them to me at 5. You know how I landed that plug, bro?
That's insane. That's like...
Bro, I landed that plug through the military.
What?
Straight up.
Go in, dude. Do tell.
My partner came back from the whole Iraq war and shit. And, dude, he introduced me to this female because he knew... So he was deployed with her cousin, and just by chance, she stayed there. He knew from him that his people around like that. So he talked to her because he didn't want to go straight to him because he felt like that dude was going to be like, because that dude didn't around, but his people did. But he felt like if he went to him about it, he was going to be like, bro, what are you doing? We're not supposed to be, that whole like military shit. So he introduced me to his cousin. Me and her started chopping it up, and she made the phone call to him. And then he talked to me on the phone, and then he introduced me to his family out there, and he made the introduction. Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy,
and that's how that happened. Yeah.
You just never know.
Yeah. And they flew me out there, and we chopped it up. And
where was he based out of? What part of Cali?
No, it was AZ.
Oh, you just said California.
No, did I say? I said West Coast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was trying to keep it whatever, but it was
All
it was
right.
the AZ.
It was in Arizona.
Yeah, it was the AZ West Coast. That's still West Coast, ain't it?
We don't. Cats from Cali don't consider it the West
Oh.
Coast. You got to be in Cali.
I always called it the West Coast shit.
Yeah, I mean it's the Southwest.
Yeah.
Oh, so you were with the Sinaloa cartel then, because that's where that whole area, they own Sonora. They own right across the border. They own that whole plaza.
Yeah.
So you're paying like $300 an ounce.
Yeah. It was stupid crazy.
Wow. So it's just flying. And what's ironic is you never got caught up on, because this is a huge federal case.
Yeah.
You know, you could have been doing like mandatory 10, 15, 20 years. And you got popped on some bullshit.
On some bullshit, yeah.
And it was like a half a zip.
It was a half a zone, yeah.
Holy shit.
A powder. Shit, I didn't even.
Zone of cocaine,
Yeah.
right? It wasn't even meth. You never got popped with any meth. They never raided you. They never found any money, anything like that. That's good job, dude.
I call it skill and dumb luck.
Right.
I was extremely paranoid. I never forgot where I came from. So like when police go to creating rats, when they want to bust like the people that are holding weight, they go to the sewer first. So like I got a homie in the feds right now, 3 people are on his paperwork. He don't even know who the they are. Maybe he does, but he doesn't remember them. So like, so that first dude I told you about, say he'd be in some trap house smoking dope. He'd call me, he'd be like, hey, you know a dude named Johnny? I'd be like, nah. I'd be like, take a picture of him. You know, like the Motorola Razor and or some bullshit like that. He'd take a grainy ass picture of you wouldn't even know it and send it to me. And I'd be like, who the is that? Man, this fool talking about he's got some work over here. He's talking about he buys it from you. He knows you. He described you. He talked about the gun on the side of your neck. He knows you. I'm like, what? I'm like, I don't know that. I don't know him. So like even like dancers, they would call me in Austin. They'd be like, hey, Tim. I'm like, because I didn't ever like, I've had a couple licks up here, but nothing like that. It wasn't even up here like that. So they'd call me, they'd be like, you know, this same shit. I'm like, I don't know who that dude is. Like, so like I kept.
What was that about?
When your name's ringing like that, people just want to identify with you. Because like I had a very good name in the game because I didn't get high.
Right.
That was the thing. So people, even my licks, would call me nicknames. So if they brought me up, they would never say my real name. They would do it on their own. I never told them to do it. They would just give me a nickname. And I would never wanted to meet anybody. I'm like, hey, I don't want nobody over here. I don't need nobody seeing me. Like, let's not do it like this, you know? And I was very weird like that. Even when I was a small timer, like, not to be on no up shit, but like, when I was just like, when I first started getting paper, like when I first started kind of making it happen, like there was no black people that smoked that shit, right?
No.
So if I came in your apartment and you had a black dude in there, I'm walking out. I'm not saying shit. I'm turning around and walking the out. You come out, you're like, what are you doing? I'm like, what the is he doing in there? Who is that? Or who is she? Black people don't with that shit. So that either a jacker or a cop. Either way it goes, I'm not doing nothing. Like, we ain't even playing that game, bro. I'm not doing none of that.
So you never sold to any black
no,
people?
No, hell no, because I didn't trust them, not on no racial shit, because they weren't in that game.
They weren't in the game. They got it. They've since got in the game.
They've gotten it
right.
now,
But in that era, 08, 09, they were still cocaine. I never met any black dudes that sold meth.
No, they're in it now. Like a good, so my homeboy that I told you I grew up with, I told you his dad passed away. Mm-hmm. Like their little brother, their baby brother, he with that shit. You know what I'm saying? He's incarcerated right now. So yeah, now would be a different time, obviously. But back then, it's like, nah, fool, like, no, I'm not. It's like maybe like when crack blew up and you saw a square ass white dude come down there. You're like, what the is this white boy doing down here buying crack?
Right. Although hella white boys smoke.
Yeah, but I'm just saying maybe when it first blew up or something.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, because back then, I wasn't alive. Like it was like freebase and shit like that. You know, the white boys probably weren't buying hard rock at that time.
Right, exactly.
So it's the same stigma. You know, you see people who usually don't with the shit. Now you up in here with the shit. Like, nah, you ain't not around me. You're not.
Yeah.
Just like if you say like you rotated every 3-4 days, I heard from you every 3-4 days, and then I didn't hear from you. I make call, you send you a text, you don't answer. Then maybe like say 5-6 days later, you call me, and then you're like, yeah, I just got out of jail. Woo. And I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna think that you're telling. I'm like, what'd you go to jail for? Oh, I went to jail for this or went to jail for that. I'm like, okay, woo, well, what's up? Oh yeah, I need to get this. And you all of a sudden like maybe change up your buy pattern. I'll be like, oh, okay. Even if it might be the same shit, but you can usually tell when somebody's conversation is different, right? Especially like me being from the streets and then me being in prison. I pay attention to conversation extremely well. So like your conversation changes a little bit. So then I'm gonna get off the phone, call a friend of mine. Hey, run this dude's name. What's up? Like, what's up with them? Oh, I can't find nothing on them. Ooh. But if I'm paranoid, I'm dropping that phone. You're never talking to me again. Yeah. As soon as I smell something funny, I don't give a if you're making
a chance.
Yeah, I'm not even chance. It's not worth it. No. It's once you start touching paper, real paper, bro, all that dumb shit goes out the window. Yeah. Like it's not even worth the risk. I had dudes burn me for so much money. I had a white boy named Trevor. Shit, bro, straight up.
Tell me about Trevor, dude.
Stay straight. White boy named Trevor, bro.
Gay ass name.
Yeah.
Trevor Wallace. Was it Trevor Wallace?
Bro, so my homeboy that I told you his dad passed away, Ray, their youngest brother, he's in the joint right now. And he's fighting a case. I won't say his name, but it's crazy. He's in the joint, but he's fighting another case. So he's like about to get extradited to another. They're waiting to see. He's got to go fight a case somewhere. So anyways, long story short, he introduces me to this white boy. He's like, hey, I got this white boy. He's on. He can make moves for you. So I'm like, all right. So I go over there and I see him. And he's like, I can do this and I can do that. And I'm all like, all right. I was like, you can? I was like, well, when can you make some moves? And he was all like, I can get off 5 zips right now. And I'm all like, well, hold on. We ain't going to start there. I don't even know you. And I was like, so let me see what you can do. Like, get them to come with the money. I don't want to meet them, but get the money here. I'm not just going to front you something because he thought I was just going to chunk it to him because my homeboy told him he'll give you whatever. Because I would. Like if I knew that you could make bread, I'd give it to you. I'm like, what the can you do? Like, you'd be like, hey, can I get a zip? And I'd be like, I didn't even sell zips anymore, but just say it was that time. I'd be like, well, what can you move? What can you really dump off in like a week's time? Oh, I could probably move like 8-9 of them. Well, bet I'll just give you 8-9 of them. Holler at me in a week. And if you burn me for that money, then I just don't with you no more. You're cutting your own throat.
Yeah, because it's not, the price you're paying is like
it's
you
not
can chalk that up.
Yeah, it's chalk up. So like that dude Trevor, that dude was making $10,000 for me a day.
Holy shit.
Over the summer. I'm not lying. It was insane. I'm like, how the is this? This fool is. But he knew all these people in these little country towns.
That's where the meth got moved.
Yeah.
Bro. It's these invisible communities.
Dude.
Mainstream America. Like I said, like I didn't know anybody coming from Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
I had to go to jail to realize the epidemic because that's where these are coming from.
Yep.
It's like the suburbs, which you think is like, oh, the suburban, that's where rich people live.
Yeah.
Not no more, bro. The rich people live in the city because this is the most valuable property. Nobody wants to live in an ass suburb.
Goddamn right. Bro, but he burnt me for 50 racks.
He just didn't come back?
Yeah, I fronted it to him. And I kind of felt like it was going to happen because he had came up like a few times when he re-upped with me because he wasn't even spending with me. I was just chunking it to him. He was coming like a couple thousand short, all this and all that. And he smoked. He around and, tricking with the females and shit. And dude, I hadn't hit him off and he went in the hole with me bad. And then he dodged me for like, dude, this could have been 2-3 weeks. I ran into this at the Walmart. He looked like he saw a ghost. And I'm like, bitch, come with me. And I like try to be like a counselor or some shit. I'm like, bro, if you got burned or if something happened, why don't you just call me and talk to me? I'll help you get out of the hole. Just pay me an extra this or whatever on top of that. Bro, I gave this some more. This just disappeared on my ass. Disappeared. Yeah. I've never seen him again.
Oh, he smoked it all up.
Yeah, he was gone. He was out in the wilderness somewhere with that shit.
Well, how much did you make off of him? Versus how much did you lose off of him?
I mean,
if you made a profit then.
Yeah, I was it was nothing. I was killing it. I was pissed off when he did that to me because I don't know. I don't know why I got so pissed off. I remember I was doing like karaoke with some strippers. We were the karaoke place is still here today. It's off Lamar. So there's a strip club called Yellow Rose here.
Of course.
And there's a plaza. So if you're coming from like the north on North Lamar, there's a plaza where I think it's a Walgreens that's right there. There's a plaza in there, and there's an Asian place. It's a karaoke joint. It's like BYOB, and you rent out a room and do karaoke. So I was in there with a bunch of like Asian and white strippers and shit. And I remember I'm on the phone. They're all singing up, and I'm on the phone. I'm like blowing this fool up. I'm like, this fool like playing with my money. I was pissed, dude. But
yeah,
I never got it back. I mean, I seen some crazy shit on that clear, dog. Like, I went out to the country. Like, this is how paranoid they were. A childhood friend introduced me to this biker cat. I go in the house. He's got all these Peckerwood white boys around him. I'm like, all right. And what's crazy is that game, like, there were certain cats that didn't want to with me because they said I acted black.
Right. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Like, they must have thought you were one of them.
Yeah, they didn't.
But your accent is different. Like,
yeah,
it sounds, you have a country accent to me, but to these bumpkins down here, you probably don't sound like you're from Texas.
No, yeah, and
I love shitting on Texas. Anyways,
dude,
go ahead.
So he's got these white boys around him. They're all got their shirt offs and shit, like some real country shit. And I remember he's got a fireplace going in the middle of the summer, and I'm like, is this really got the fireplace on? So as soon as I sat down, he's got a Sharpie and a piece of paper, and he writes, "Do not speak out loud," and slides it to me. And I'm looking, and then he hands me a piece of paper, gives me a Sharpie, and goes like this. And I was like, so what are you trying to buy? Because my homie introduced me to him, so I wasn't bringing any work with me, but he was like making an intro because he wanted to start with me. But like on that shit that I just told you about how dudes don't with me. So my homie's little brother that's in the joint right now that's facing another case. There's a town outside of Dallas. It's called like Greenville or some shit. Like it's work pumping out that. But he introduced me to some white dudes up there, and they were like some family shit, some prison family. And so I go to meet them, and like they keep changing spots and stuff like that. And I'm like, my plug told me, he's like, hey bro, shit's gonna be dead for like a week. So I'm like, I'm just trying to like pick some extra shit up. And the price was decent. So we like changed the spot to like 3 different houses. And I'm telling my homeboy, I'm like, bro, these fools trying to jack me. Now this dude's black. So he's all like, nah, these fools are cool. They're cool white boys. So finally we go to a hotel, which I do not do shit like that. So I'm really like on some renegade shit right now. So we go in this hotel. It's these Peckerwood white boys. And they got some females with them. One of them, he's massive. He's yoked as and we're talking, and he's all like, dude, right in front of my homeboy, he's like, you talk like a And I was like, what?
So you could tell these cats were from the joint.
Yeah. And he's all like, man, I don't want to deal with nobody like, race trade like you. And I'm like, like, we're here to do a kilo deal. You're over here on some goddamn, and
prison
then
Nazi
shit.
Like,
and he's like, you know who the I am? And I was like, bro, I don't give like when it comes to like we're doing business, like I'm like trying to be chill. Like I'm not here to play this big tit contest. So then I just finally I was just like, bro, and I'm outnumbered. I'm here by myself. I have no weapon. I'm in the country where you can come up missing. Like any city, I'll go in any city. I ain't saying I'm not scared, but I'll go in any city. But let me tell you something. When you go to the country, you'll come up missing out. And you will be off and not found type shit. Like, so I'm like, bro, I was like, honestly, I don't give a who you are. I was like, I don't know if you don't know who I am, but I can tell you this much. And he's like, well, take your shit. And I was all like, well, you can take my shit. I'm not saying that you won't, but I can tell you this much. I'm not somebody that if I don't make it back home tonight, I'm not somebody that people ain't going to come looking for. So I suggest you let me leave here. If you don't want to do a deal because of how I talk, then we ain't got to do that deal. But I can tell you this much. If you think y'all are going to pull some gangster shit, like you're with the wrong cat, bro, because I'm not somebody that people aren't going to forget about. Trust that. There's a lot of people depending on me, bro. you know, and I know that my plug, you know, I'm not saying they would have did anything, but they definitely weren't gonna like leave that alone. You know what it is, bro. You make certain connections. Like you don't like I was no way I was walking away from that situation until I went to jail.
Right.
I'm not saying like I was making like I was moving, but once you kind of go to a certain era with people, there ain't no you just stop around.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you got to go to jail. Like it is what it is. I can't just say, hey, I don't want to around no more.
Right.
You know too much.
Yeah.
You know.
It's tricky because, yeah, in a place like Mexico, it's a lot more cut and dry because you just get away with murder.
Yeah.
So like, hey, there's a lot less around probably because if you steal this from me and I go missing, like you know what it is. Like they'll locate you and they'll kill everybody.
Yeah.
But here it's like, are you bluffing? Like you can get in the country. Yeah, you could dump my body.
Yeah.
But also, you know, you might be caught.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like we have a justice system here. So it's a tough, it's a gray area in the dope game.
Yeah,
It's usually not worth it.
No.
So what ended up happening?
They let me leave. I mean, I got up and walked towards the door anyways, because I'm not going to sit here and let you berate me like that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So they just didn't do the deal?
No, they didn't do the deal. They didn't want to do the deal with me, and I bounced. And then my homeboy, he came and he jumped in the car, and I was like, who the f are these people, bro? I'm like, you bring me to these. Like, I was like, bro, you know that I don't f with white boys like that. Like, you know that like they don't like me, dog. I'm not one of them. They don't f with me.
Crazy, bro.
I was like, why would you? He's like, bro. He's like, they f with me. I was like, cause you're black. That's the difference, dog. That's the thing. Like, dude, like I've met real racist white people. Like, I haven't met too many true blue racist white people, but I have met a few. And they were on the streets. Like I met like one in prison, but you kind of expect it there. But when you meet them on the streets, like they dislike white boys like me more than they dislike black people. Because to them, I'm a race traitor.
Right.
Like, oh, you acting like them, you're disrespect.
Wow.
Like
That's fascinating.
Yeah, they don't like, dude, like me, we were in a country ass town going to Houston. Well, we were outside of Houston and we were just exploring. Like I just like to explore shit. We went in this little ass town called Viter, Texas. They used to be like the most racist town in Texas. You can look it up. I heard they had like a sign up back in the game that said, don't get caught here after dark or some shit.
Yeah.
Bro, I remember we pulled up to a gas station on the back roads in Viter. We accidentally went there. This before like GPS, like, you know, I think Tom-Toms might have been out. And we stopped at the gas station to get something to drink. And I walked in, and the way them white people looked at me and where we were at, I turned around and walked back out. I had my homeboy in the car. He was black. And he's like, bro, what's up? You ain't, because we used to like drink like the Arizona iced teas all the time. He's like, what's up with the Arizona? I'm like, shit, f that Arizona. We getting up out of here.
Yeah. I can't believe they sell Arizona in a town like that.
Yeah. I'm like, nah, let's get the f out of here.
No hot Cheetos or Arizona iced teas sold here. That's wild, man. Yeah, you don't think about that when you're insulated in like a bubble like Austin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like how redneck and country these little pockets in Texas are and in the South.
And cool, and white boys like us, fly white boys like us or whatever, like, you know, they don't like us, dog.
Now, so when you did take a fall, you said you went on the run after you got arrested. I won't make you rehash the story, but basically you got in a T-boned in a car accident, and the cops found a half a zip of coke in that
construction dumpster I told you about.
Yeah. Bullshit, bro. Just crazy bad luck.
Yeah.
After all the work you moved, all the federal chances you took, now you got a state case. You say you bonded out and then you went on the run?
Dude, so I was still on parole, dog. So I bonded out immediately. Actually, I'm lying to you. I didn't even bond out. My lawyer came and signed me out because they didn't take me to the hospital. So my lawyer came and got me out. They pulled me out. He took me to the hospital. I had a concussion. And then he was like, if you run, it's on me. You know, don't run or whatever. I was like, I'm not going nowhere. So I was out for maybe 2 weeks and my parole officer called me. And I pick up the phone. I'm like, what's up? He's like, hey, you need to come and report tomorrow by 12. And I was like, am I going to jail? Because they put a blue warrant out for me. He's like, yeah. And I was like, all right. And he's like, don't make me look bad. I wasn't supposed to tell you that, but I know you're cool. I ain't going to do, I'm going to let you know what's up so you can handle shit. And I was like, bet I'll be in. So I went and I turned myself in. So in Texas, when you get a blue warrant, you can't bond out. So, man, I'm in jail for 7 months fighting this case. I'm hiring and firing lawyers like I'm changing socks, dog. And
You got money now. At
yeah,
least.
yeah. So I had like 5 lawyers at a time working on my case. Like that's a bad thing. Like people, this is a good lawyer. That ain't no good lawyer. He's a deal getter.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna get you free.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to get free. They found this dope in a construction dumpster.
Yeah.
A little kid said he seen me toss it. They found like I ain't touched that shit. I never admitted to it. Nothing.
Yeah.
So lo and behold, dude comes in on a parole that you wouldn't even think it. He was an ABT cat.
They're in Brotherhood of Texas.
Yeah, we're chopping it up, playing spades. And he tells me, I've been in the county like almost 6 months now. He's like, you can request a parole hearing, right? And I said, what do you mean? He goes, you can petition the parole board to have a parole hearing. And because the case was so shaky, he's like, if they agree to hear you and they think that you're not guilty, you can get out. They'll reinstate your parole and you can bond back out. And he goes, and all the evidence has to be presented in the thing. So you know how jail is, be lying. So I'm like, this motherfucker onto something. So we get done playing, I go get on the phone. I had my mom call one of my lawyers, the cool one. He's actually passed away now, Scott Stevens. He was a good dude, man. He was a good one, bro. He was a good one, man. It hurt me that he passed away. He was honestly trying to get me out of jail, dog. Like he knew, like even though I was guilty, he knew that they didn't have the evidence, and that was his thing. Like it don't matter if you're guilty, if they can't prove it, they shouldn't do dirty shit to get you in jail. So she called him and he answered and he's like, yeah, if we can get the parole board to hear his case, we could have a parole hearing. So my people start petitioning the parole board. I got homies calling them, everything. They agree to hear my case. So I hire like one of the best parole lawyers. He's probably still the best parole lawyer right now. This fool named Gary Cohen here out of Austin. Fly OG white dude. So we have a parole hearing. All the cops come. The kid comes. Everybody comes. So, I don't know why I said it, but they couldn't bring the kid back there until he had to testify because it was in the jail. We weren't in a courtroom. We just went into like this little room. So there was 3 parole people from Austin and then my parole officer, then my criminal lawyer, then my parole lawyer. And they're coming in. So they put me in a separation tank for some reason. I can't remember why. And then my lawyer goes, what do you want us to ask? Oh, I wasn't allowed to be in there when he testified or something for some reason. So they go, what do you want us to ask him? And I said, I don't know why I said this. I go, ask him what I look like. So when they go in there, they weren't even in there, I don't even think 10 minutes. All of a sudden, they come back and they let me out. I never see the kid. The kid never sees me. We go in the room. My parole lawyer's grinning ear to ear. My parole officer's looking stupid as my lawyer's smiling. I leaned over next to him and I go, what the is going on? He goes, Gary asked him what you look like. And I go, what'd he say? He goes, he said you were black.
Oh.
I said, what? And he goes, yeah. I said, so what's that mean? He goes, they up. They didn't have no field tests, no pictures, no nothing of the drugs, not a goddamn thing. So the 3 parole panel ladies, as soon as they come back in, they start grilling my PO. They go, you got this man in jail for 7, I'm not cussing, but you got him in here for 7 months on this going in. And then the lady was like, so I remember it was a Wednesday, and she goes, you'll be reinstated. You'll be out on the streets on Monday. But I think it's like a 5-board panel and you need 3 people to get you out. So I was like, how sure of that are you? She goes, put it this way. And she did say these exact words. She like leaned forward on the desk. She goes, I'm the head bitch in charge. And what I say goes. So when I vote, everybody votes my way. She goes, you'll be out. It'll take 3 business days for you to get out. She goes, today's Wednesday. We're putting it in right now. She goes, Thursday, Friday, Monday, this violation will be uplifted. And she goes, and if you can bond back out on the bond you were on, you're on the streets and you can fight this case from the street. She goes, you shouldn't even be in jail. This is crazy. Mm-hmm. And she was like, this hick-ass town. And they walked out. And I remember I looked at my parole officer, and Monday morning, it was like 7:38 in the morning. They were like, Griesheimer, legal visit. I'll pop off the bunk. brush my teeth real quick, go down to the visit. He hands me my reinstating papers. And I was like, I appreciate it, bro. He's like, don't thank me. I didn't do it. And I just looked at him. I was like, what you so bitter for, bro? I was like, I'm like, you know, like.
So you're out, but they didn't drop the charges.
No, they didn't drop the charges.
Right.
I fought the case, and they wound up. So we go to start doing jury trial. So when we go in to pick the jury, the judge pulls me, the DA, and my lawyer into the judge's chambers. And she was like, we're not taking this to trial. We need to come to a deal right now. And she's like,
why? Because it was such a shit case?
Yeah, and the kid said I was black.
Right, and he was literally their only piece of evidence.
Their only evidence. And and then the DA, he's like going back and forth with her, and she's like, no, we need to come to a deal right now. So you guys figure it out. And she's like, you know, and I'm looking, I'm not saying nothing. So we step out and they put me in this room, and my lawyer's gone for a minute, and he comes back, he goes, all right, and he's all smiling. He's like, they agree to probation. I was like, probation? I was like, bro, the kid is saying I'm black. He's like, Tim. He's like, look, bro, if you take the case, if you take it to trial, he goes, you're going to prison. And I was like, how? I was like, bro, they don't got no field tests. You've seen all the evidence in the parole hearing. He goes, Tim, they're going to bring up your background. He goes, bro, we're going back and forth. And he just like, he kind of like raised his voice at me. He goes, bro, the dope is yours. He's like, this is a win. He's like, it's Bell County, dog. They're not going to let you off. You think you're going to walk the out of here? He's like, no, bro. He's like, this is a win.
And you would just plead guilty to like
possession? I was going to plead guilty to possession over less than 200. And then I was going to get probation.
Yeah.
And
it would just run concurrent because you were already on probation.
Yeah. Well, I was on that probation. I discharged parole. I got an unsuccessful discharge. So like I never got a certificate, but I was still on that other probation, which hadn't ended yet. So they were just going to run them concurrent. So he's like, I'll get him to put a thing. It was 10 years too. I was like, bro, 10 years? He's like, I'll get him to put a thing to where if you don't violate in 3 years, they can get you taken off or some dumbass shit like that. So they got it put in the paperwork that if I did 3 years, no violations, and I mean,
it seems like with a half an ounce, you could have just said, even if they had more evidence, it seems like you could have just pled out in drug court. I mean, I don't know, you know, like a half an ounce, you could just say, I'm a user.
Yeah. But my whole thing was I was saying it wasn't mine.
Right.
And so I wound up signing for the probation. And this is why I wound up going on the run. This is how up the system is. So my son, I'm on child support for my son. So when I'm in the county for those 7 months, they're still charging me child support, which is illegal, right? They're supposed to stop payments when you're in the county. So when I come out, I'm in default or whatever they call it, right? So they bring me to, they have sheriff come to my house and tell me I got to go to child support court up here in Williamson County. So I'm like, Georgetown. So I'm like, all right. So I don't even know I'm in default because as soon as I come home, I start making payments. So they're like, oh, you owe us, dude, I think it was like $3,500 or some shit. It wasn't even nothing because it's like you miss the payments and they charge a 10 or 15% interest. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I was in jail this whole time because they were like threatening to lock me up. I'm like, you're going to lock me up? I was like, I just got out of jail. I was in jail this whole time. Like, so my lawyer sent paperwork to him and everything else. And I was like, I didn't even know I was behind. You guys didn't say nothing to me, like, because I had been out. So anyways, the system was so backwards back then. So what I had to do was, if you sign an agreement to pay this money every month, because I could have gave them the $3,500 right then and there, but I didn't want to because I'm like, you hoes. Like, I just hate the system, dog. I ain't lying to you. Like, like even me paying child support now, I hate giving them people my money. Mm-hmm. Like, I just hate it, dog. And because I don't even get to see my son. Like, my son don't even want anything to do with me because of me being in prison all this time. He don't with me, bro. So like, it's like I'm paying for a kid who hates me.
Right.
And which doesn't matter, but it's just the fact that they charged me when I was in jail and you charge me interest. So you me all the way. It's different if you say, well, just pay this because this is your son, then I can say bet, but you put an interest on money that I couldn't even pay. So it's like, to me, I'm just like up about it. So I'm like, okay, I'll agree to pay $750 a month until we catch up on the $3,500 on top of my regular payment. So how you had to pay child support back then, this is how Alice backwards the shit is. You had to go down to like Western Union or something, have them on the phone, send them the money through Western Union. They had to fax a paperwork. You had to go to like Office Depot or some shit, sign some paperwork, fax it back to them, and then they signed it, and that's how the payment happened. So the lady, you're supposed to send the payment to San Antonio. She has me send it to Austin, and I'm like, are you sure? I was like, because the payment says it's supposed to go to San Antonio. Long story short, 6 weeks go by. A sheriff comes to my house, because when you agree to pay, like if you owe back child support, when you agree to pay a certain time every month, if you don't meet that agreement, then they'll put you in jail. So he comes to my house and knocks on my door, and I'm like, what the? So I open up the door. He's like, hey, Tim. And I'm like, what's up? He's like, there's a warrant for your arrest. I said, for what? And he's like, child support. I said, what the? I was like, bro, I pay my child support. He's like, I'm not going to take you to jail. He's like, just call it in and figure out what the is up. I'm like, all right, bet. So I call him, but I got all the fax paperwork where they signed for the payment. So the lady said, bro, she had you send it to the wrong thing. So she's like, you need to call Western Union to see if you can get that money back. The whole time Western Union sitting on my money never calls me and tells me they got the bread. So I call them, the money's still down there. I go get the money. I call back to the Georgetown courthouse, Williamson County, and I'm like, hey, how can we get this warrant resolved? Because I'm on paper now. But what I don't know is that in the state of Texas, they can't violate your parole or your probation over a civil case. I don't know this at the time. So she goes, look, come down here. Since she up and signed all that stuff, you didn't do anything wrong. Come down here to the courthouse. We're not going to incarcerate you. She's like, come down here and give us that money. We'll drop the warrant. It'll take 3 business days for it to go away. I'm like, all right, bet. I jump in the slab, the Caprice I told you about. I'm pumping it down to Williamson County. I get a call. Don't know the number. I pick it up. Hello? It's a probation officer. Mr. Hernandez, piece of straight trash. This calls me. Timothy. I'm like, yeah, what's up? Yeah, you got a warrant for your arrest. So I tell him the whole story I tell you, right? He's like, I was like, I'm on my way to go pay it right now. It'll be up in 3 days. It don't matter. I already talked to the DA. You violated probation. We already talked to the DA. They're offering you 10 years. Instead of me like staying calm and calling a lawyer, I immediately freaked the out. And I'm like, so you're going to put me in prison for 10 years over a child support payment that I didn't miss? I'm like, I'm already on child support. I'm already on probation for a case, even though I'm guilty for it. You had no evidence. You had nothing. You didn't even have a field test. You didn't have nothing. You have a kid that says I'm black. So instead of me staying calm and calling the lawyer, I immediately freaked the out. I turn my car around, call my homeboy. He comes and buys the slab. I call one of my childhood friends who's down here in Austin right now. He runs 4 restaurants, straight, clean cut. I call him and I said, hey, bro, I need you to buy me a fucking plane ticket. And he's like, where are you disappearing to? And I was like, out of the state. I know he's not going to tell nobody.
Right.
I know he's a G like that. He might be one of those clean cut white dudes, but he's a G. And I'm like, bro, everything in my house you can have. Everything. Just flat screens, come get it. I'm selling my car, and I'm disappearing. He's like, bet. He got me a one-way plane ticket, and I disappeared that day. And I was on the run for like over 2 years.
Wow.
Something like that.
Where at?
In
Where
Ohio.
And were you making moves up there?
Oh, yeah. But I jumped in your game, though.
It's the weed.
The weed,
Okay.
because it goes for so high up there.
Of course.
It goes for crazy high up there, and I could
Crazy
get it
high.
for dirt cheap. I mean, Dro was like $3,600 a brick, $4,200 a brick, 38.
And
30.
you're getting it from Cali?
Yeah, I was getting it from, well, I guess so. I was getting it from the same people.
Right.
So yeah, wherever they were getting it from. So, dude, I
Or
just
Arizona.
Yeah,
so.
I just switched the game up, and
You were killing it?
dude, I was murdering the game.
Talk numbers.
Dude,
what
it
kind of
was
moving?
Crazy, dog. We were dumping like 1,000 a week.
1,000 joints?
Yeah, because all my family's up there. So I
Right.
linked up with my uncle, and I'm all like, what moves up here? because I'm on the run. So my whole thing is like, I'm trying to get as much money as possible. So I'm like, what moves up here? And he's like, I can move the bud. I was like, what's it go for? I already heard that it went for higher. You know what I'm saying? So he's like 36, 38 all day long. I called dude. I'm like, what can I get him for? And he was all like, bro, I'll give him to you for a stack.
Wow.
Bro, I told my uncle, I said, look, I was like, how much money are you trying to make middleman in this shit? And I was like, bro, I'll give him to you for 25. He's like, oh, I'm gonna sell him for 36. I was like, no, don't. If I give him to you for 25, just let him go for like 32.
Yeah.
3,000, 32.
So they'll move.
Yeah, so they'll get gone, fool. Like, I ain't trying to be playing no games. Like, you already know my situation. Bro, it just took off.
Wow.
Like, we started making moves like a, and then
they would drop the butt off.
Yeah.
The plugs would drive it all the way from AZ.
Yeah.
But what kind of weed was this? Was this outdoor, good outdoor?
I think some of it was good outdoor. Some of it for sure was indoor. I'm not really
At
like
1,000 a pee?
Yeah.
Oh my
Some of
God.
it was good. Some of it was good. It might have all been outdoor. I don't know. I'm not really
But
like.
this is not like Mexican swag.
No, this
not
is
like
straight up
Reggie.
dro, bro. The
Okay.
packages were vacuum
The
sealed.
fluffy West Coast joints.
Yeah, they had the name written on it when it was packaged, like the
Right.
name Orange Kush, Green Crack, AK-47 with the
Yep.
date when it was packed up.
That's literally the exact kind of bud I moved. And people on the West Coast or the East Coast and in the Midwest, like Ohio, to them it was almost like it was indoor.
Yeah.
Like it was really good weed.
Yeah, it was fire, dude.
But it moved at that ticket.
Yeah, hell yeah, it moved, bro. That shit took the off, dude. It was gone.
So your uncle was the one getting it off.
He was middleman.
He had all the,
he
he had all the
had
customers.
everything, and he wasn't gonna let me meet nobody. So it was all him making everything happen.
So you could make 100. You're giving it to him for 25. You could make like 150,000 every drop.
Easy.
Oh, love that.
Easy.
Love that.
It was turning and burning, dude. It was, and I was trying to go like even bigger with it. And he was like, what are you doing? I was like, bro, see if they'll do this, see if they'll do that. Cause your plug is always gonna kind of like push you to do a little more if you can. Like if you're doing this, what can you do? So he's like, no, man. He's like, you trying to go too hard with it. And he like did construction and shit. So he's all like, he had his own little company and stuff like that. And we worked together. So I would go work with them. And he's like, you trying to go too hard with it. Like, what are you doing? And I was like, bro, like it's good right now. Like we'll just get it while it's good. It ain't always going to be good. Like there's going to be times. And I was like, and I ain't even trying to like, bro, like the run, it with me mentally. Like it caused me a lot of health problems and shit. Like I wound up having a couple stomach surgeries from it. I think that's what it came from.
Just from stress.
Stress, yeah, bro. Because every time you see the police, you get shook. You know what I'm saying? Like you just get shook. And
So you were trying to push him to move like what?
I was just
2,000?
Whatever we could. I knew he could do more. I just knew he could do more because the people he was with. I knew it. Like if it was moving that good, like no hiccups, like there wasn't a hiccup.
How would the plug, the cartel, how would they drop off? Did they come in semi trucks?
I don't know what they did.
They just had a spot to where you pick it up.
Yeah, they had a
just
spot
like
to
the
where
meth.
I picked it up. Yeah. When I went back up to Cali this time, when I went back to Ohio this time, there was a gang of Mexicans up there. There's a gang of Mexicans up there now.
Yup.
And they own shit. They own shit.
Mm-hmm.
They own restaurants. They own strip clubs. They had spots. I don't know if it's still like this because it's been so long. They had a spot I went in, you could buy food, and then they would have bitches come from the back and G-strings and shit that would sit with you and dance with you and probably sell you some sex. I don't know. I was just like, okay. Like, I was like, they ain't like.
No, they figured out how lucrative Ohio is.
Oh yeah. Bro, they got paper.
They figured it out.
Yeah, they're not like these Mexicans in Texas doing construction and shit. Like, not to be up, I'm not saying it like that, but they're up there owning shit. They're making shit happen for real.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, they're taking over here too. They got their grocery stores. They moved together, bro. That's like my girl's Mexican. My daughter's half Mexican. Like, that's one of the reasons why I with Hispanics so much because they're family oriented, a lot of them and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm very big on that, bro. I'm very big on like loyalty.
Yeah.
Like so like Yeah, that for sure, bro.
And you didn't think about like, so you're making a lot of money again. So the money's pouring in.
Yeah.
And you're like me, you save. You just stash it away. Did you think about calling your lawyer? Like, was your lawyer calling you? Did they have your new number?
Nah, bro. I didn't talk to anybody. I ghosted every single on the planet. I dropped off the face of the earth.
Wow.
I did my homeboy that bought me the ticket, like him. I ghosted him. I knew he wouldn't tell on me, but I told him when he took me to the airport, I was like, hey, this is goodbye until I get caught up. And he was all like, he's like, bet, bro. And I was like, please don't tell nobody shit. He's like, you know, I'm not going to tell nobody nothing. I ghosted everybody. I dropped that phone. The only person that I talked to, bro, was my mom.
Yeah.
That was it. Because I know my mom ain't going to sell me out for nobody.
So you've got a 10-year probation from what amounts to a possession charge.
Yeah.
Not even a distribution charge for half an ounce of cocaine. Because of all of this bureaucratic mix-up with your child support, that is what is going to trigger this probation violation that's going to get you all this time.
That's going to get me back in prison.
That's bananas. That's mind-blowing.
Dude, so when they pull me over, I don't know I got yoked up by Homeland Security. I don't know what it was. Like Obama was like, he was like pressing the East Coast, the Midwest, like stupid hard, bro. So like I was like, they do checkpoints. I don't know if they still do, but like they would do like these DUI checkpoints in the middle of the day up there. So I'm always on the internet looking for these checkpoints because I'm making moves and I'm on the run. So I'm like, okay, I'm looking, and then I'm always watching shit, but I'm always keeping up with news and what's going on, drug news, shit like that. So like I see like in Ohio and in Michigan, they're like pulling over like, they caught, because like at this time, this is like that whole Percocet epidemic where we're going to Florida and picking up
opioid epidemic.
Yeah. That's at this time. Dude, I had a homie up there. He never even got caught. He got rich and got the out the way. That had a school bus painted purple with some goddamn red evangelist church, and he had like older middle-aged white people going to Florida getting scripts coming back with that shit.
It's just loaded with
bro,
pills.
He was killed. The pill games was stupid. I never dabbled in the game or whatever, but it was like
it's crazy money.
Yeah, they were killing that goddamn shit. The perk 30s or all that old, like I don't know. That ain't ever been my thing, but like yeah, he was slaughterhousing that shit. And so I get yoked over by Homeland Security. What's crazy is I'm with this stripper broad from Dayton. So she would come to Columbus because she had family there. And we'd meet at this hotel. It was like off the highway. And there was a bunch of like high-end hotels right there. So we meet at the hotel. So one day we go to the gas station. And I lied to you. Like, this is the first nice car that I ever bought. I had an Infiniti G37S, 2-door, like a blue-gray, lowered cream vanilla seats, live as and so we pull up to the gas station. We both get gas. She's in her car, I'm in mine. And there's a white dude in a Under Armour tracksuit in like a Ford Escape or some shit, or the SUVs, the Ford Escape or some shit, like the smaller SUVs. And it's snowing outside. So me and her go in the gas station. I buy a pack of Rillos. I take a couple out. I give her the rest. And we give each other a kiss goodbye and stuff like that. And I see this white boy staring at me. He's standing outside his SUV looking at me. So I peel off. So a few minutes later, she calls me and she was like, say, bro. And I'm like, what's up? She's like, man, you remember the white boy you said, what the f is white boy looking at? And I'm like, yeah. She's all like, but at this time, I'm like fly with it. I'm white gold, goddamn Stewie from Family Guy chain. I'm white gold watch with diamonds, like diamond earrings. When that game Angry Birds came out on the phone, I had all these Angry Bird medallions.
Keep it a low pro.
Yeah, I'm not keeping it low pro. I'm like balls to the wall right now. I didn't give a f. I'm like, it is what it is, dog. Like I can show you videos of me. It's crazy. So she's like, he came up to me and asked me who you were. I was like, what? She goes, yeah. She goes, who is that? Who he looks familiar. And she was like, he does music. Because I was around with music at the time. So he's like, oh, for real? She's like, yeah. She's like, I don't think we should go back to that area anymore. And they were doing a bunch of like stops in that area. So we stayed away from that area for, man, I don't even think it was a month. And then when she came down to see her family, she's like, you want to meet up? What hotel you want to meet up at? And I was like, let's meet up in the same spot. Because it's like a halfway point for her to jump on that part of the highway and go to Dayton. She's like, I don't think we should go there, baby. I was like, man, we're all good. So I go to get the hotel room, and a Columbus PD jumps behind me by the hotel room. Like, he's sitting in the parking lot. He sees me, and he jumps behind me. So the hotel room's like off this like back road, and it's like 3 of these nice hotels on the highway, but you have to take like an off-road to get to them. So there's like a dip in the road with the bump, and I had got, so the G37S, like the ass kind of sat up like that, so I had it leveled out so it was low. So I swerve around the bump. He does the same thing with me. I'm like, what the fuck? So I pull up in the hotel, but I knew at this time from like looking shit up that cops aren't supposed to be allowed to go to hotels and just ask who's staying there. Like, they weren't supposed to be able to do that. So I'm sitting in my car, and he just like parks behind me. And then he reaches his hand out, he grabs his light, and it's snowing. He like flashes it on my car. So I jump out, and I'm like, what's up? What's up? And he just pulls off. So I'm like, maybe he thought I was somebody else. So I tell him, like, hey, I'm over here, this the room. Well, for some reason, I couldn't go to sleep. I'm annoyed as a. I'm getting up, I'm looking out the window. There's a cop over at this other hotel facing our hotel, and I'm like, they're watching me. And she's all like, what are they watching you for? You ain't doing nothing. Like, you're not doing nothing. So I was sick. I was throwing up all the time, bro. And I was going to the hospital, and they thought that I was like on some type of opioids. And I'm like, bro, test my system. I'm not on no drugs. So that Thursday, I think this was like a Monday or Tuesday. That Thursday, I was supposed to go to the Ohio cancer research because they thought I had stomach cancer. So I'm just throwing up all the time. Like, for like multiple weeks out of the month, like 2 or 3 weeks, I could take like one bite of food and I couldn't eat nothing else. I had lost a lot of weight. When I would try to brush my teeth, I would throw up. And then like maybe like 1 week or a couple days out of the month, for some reason I would be able to gorge on food. So those days that I wouldn't like lose my appetite and I could eat, I would try to eat as much as possible. Wow. And when they gave me these pills, the pills that they give to cancer patients, those actually helped me be able to start eating. But I didn't know what was wrong with me. So the next morning we get up, and we had like, I don't know, like a gram and a half. I didn't have like no dirt on me or nothing like that. And I was all like, you want to go and blow that real quick? And she's like, yeah.
Some weed.
Yeah, some bud, yeah. So we go to the gas station. I pick up a mini Rillo and give it to her. Come out the same gas station that the white dude was at in the tracksuit. So we pull up to the light. I'm sitting there looking around. It's a 4-way stop, and the highway's right here to the left. So I cut, boom, I get on the ramp, start heading towards the highway. I'm driving, and she's in the back breaking up the bud. And I'm looking over my shoulder, looking in the rear view, looking over my shoulder, going like this. And as soon as I like come back up, I like see something. I put my head and I look back up. Bro, it's that Ford Escape, blacked out, 2 Columbus PD, 2 sheriffs, because I know their car because they're like midnight blue, and they're the K9 units because they got the jet black windows, and then it's 2 state highway patrol. I'm like, what the? She's like, what? I was like, bro, there's like 6 laws back there, bro. She's like, they ain't coming for you. I was like, that's that Ford Escape. So I put that bitch in sport mode and punch it on the highway, start cutting in and out of traffic. I'm trying to get to the next exit. And she's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm trying to get to the next exit. I was like, I'm about to jump out this car. And she's like, what are you scared for? All we got is a blunt. And I was like, bitch, I'm on the run.
I swear you break it. Swear you break it to her.
She's like, I knew you were. So, dude, the K9 unit dumps in behind me, starts hitting the lights. I pull over. This is what's weird, bro. Like, I don't know if somebody had to tell on me. Because as soon as he walks up to my car, I was going to like try to lie to him and give him a fake name and say,
Did you have a fake ID?
No, I didn't have no fake. I was trying to get one, but like every one that I came across, I was like, this ain't going to pass.
Mexicans, bro. You should have talked to more Mexicans.
I know. And he comes up to the passenger side. So I was like, hey, how you doing, buddy? He's like, what's up, Tim? I was like, what the? My heart drops. He's like, man, shut the car off. And I'm like, all right. So the laws pull up. The dude gets out in the tracksuit and he's like, man, get out. Come talk to me. I'm like, all right. We go in and we get in his car. He puts me in the passenger seat and he like puts my hand up to like my finger up to the scanner and it scans my thumb and my face pops up. And I was like, what the? I was like, who are you? He's like, I'm with Homeland Security. And I'm like, what do you want with me? So he starts telling me, I know you're making moves, but he's not giving me no details. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I do music, dog. He's all like, so he has another phone. He's like, bro, I'll let you leave right now. And you just take this phone. He's like, and give me 10 bricks of, I need this. He's trying to get me to, and I'm like, bro, I don't even around like that.
He's trying to get you to work?
Yeah, he's trying to get me to work. And he was all
that
like,
fast.
That fast. He goes, I can get
Bro,
this.
think about that. Just process that, viewers, listeners at home. You tell me the government isn't involved in drug trafficking.
Yeah.
They completely are. They didn't even pretend to want to arrest you.
No.
Just get working.
Handed me a burner phone, and then he's all like, man, you got that nice car. You got that fine-ass white girl right there. And he's like, bro, you're from Texas. You ain't come out. This was his exact words. I'll never forget it to this day. He goes, you ain't come out the sandbox with these. He's like, I can get this warrant. I can get all this shit squashed right now. Set me somebody up. We'll get the judge to sign off on everything so it's legit before you do it. And he's like, and then you can bounce out of here and go back home a free man. And I looked at him and I was just like, I hesitated to answer him because I was thinking, well, he doesn't know what I'm pumping because he didn't, when he said, get me 10 bricks, he didn't say nothing about no bud. He said, get him some brown or some white. And I didn't with that shit. I didn't even with anybody who with that shit. So I'm like, okay, so whoever's giving him info is giving him wrong shit.
Were you dealing with anybody besides your uncle?
No. That's what it's so weird. That's even still to this day, I'm captivated by how this even happened. I've even questioned. I ain't
maybe
gonna
some strippers, because weren't you going to these Mexican joints?
I was going even to the regular strip clubs, but I never told anybody anything. Like nobody even called me my real name. Everybody called me Frank because I went by because I was doing rap music, so nobody even knew me as Tim.
Right.
Nobody knew my name. I questioned my uncle when I got brought back. And I asked him, I was like, bro, did you what's up, fool? Because this whole situation didn't make any sense. Yeah. And it still doesn't to this day. I don't understand how it happened.
It could have been, they have informants. Like at that time, Obama was doing a lot of deportations. That's probably what the Homeland Security was about. So, they know these Mexican spots. They know everybody in there is illegal, bro. Yeah. Basically. So they probably have. It probably was just somebody who got hemmed up, a girl or somebody at the club, and was like, hey, there's this white guy who comes in. You were flashy.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So they probably were just following you. Now, the car, was it registered? Who was it registered to?
It wasn't registered to me. It was registered to a female I knew.
It's tough to know, man, but you've been in the system. Maybe they had your biometrics and they were able to. I mean, that would be some unbelievable technology if they could just take a picture of your eyes and then cross-reference it in the system and see if you had warrants out. And I guess by now the states, if you have a warrant in Texas, does that populate to the rest of the computers?
Well, yeah, because after 9/11 changed all that. That's how there's that whole nationwide database type shit.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, to me, that sounds like the most logical thing.
That's what the Patriot Act did, bro. Right. If I'm not mistaken, that's exactly what the Patriot Act did. Right. And
it shared it. All the different law enforcement bodies share the same info. So it was probably, I bet it was somebody in one of these places that you hung out with. Yeah. It doesn't sound like it's your uncle.
No. I've questioned him about it. I even questioned him about it since I've been home. We've talked about it, and I've asked him questions again because, like, my mind's like a steel trap. Like sometimes I can forget things, but like especially when you're in prison, you remember a lot of shit. Like shit comes back to you. And I was like, man, when I get out, I'm gonna ask some questions because it didn't. I still to this day I don't know how it happened. It was weird as. Obviously I told him no. So they, took me to jail. They let that chick take my car. And I went to extradition court. A couple days later, the DA, I guess you can get a bond and extradition or something, because he's like, I asked for no bond, and I'm thinking they give you a bond. And then so he's all like, Texas has 14 business days to come and get them. He's like, if they don't come and get you in 14 business days, we're going to release you. So the DA was like, well, I would like to extend it to 45. And he's like, I'm not doing that. And he's like, he's already a felon and da-da-da-da-da. And he was all like, the judge was cool as he's all like, he's an Ohio native. He's like, I'm not giving Texas another day. They got 14 business days to come and get him. Bro, the 14th day, 12 o'clock at night, it was like 1 in the morning, something like that, middle of the night. I'm like, bro, I'm getting released. I'm thinking these got to come and get me.
You're giving your soups away.
Dog.
You're all...
So they got me in a medical tank because I'm sick.
Right.
So they come and get me, and the guy's like, hey, come on, you're getting let out. He didn't know. He wasn't lying. I'm like, for real? He's like, yeah. So I go. They get me down to the front. They're having me sign paperwork, bring my clothes up, but I'm looking and I see two, like, they're marshals, but they're contractors. They're not like real cops. They're contracted to transport inmates. And then they were like, this is him. This is Griesheimer. And I'm like, they're like, yeah, we're here to take you back to Texas. And I was like, God damn, dog. And so I'm thinking I'm like going to fly back or something, right? Yeah, right, bro. They put us on a van with like a roll cage on it. And the bench was probably like that long. And the bench could probably fit, man, it might have been as long as this table, a little bit longer, like 5, 6 cats, bro. They had like 9 of us on. They had dudes in the floor. They had dudes over there.
Yeah, they get paid per head.
Yeah, we were rotating butt cheeks off each other,
right.
like that and shit, dude. That was the longest ride of my life. They fed us goddamn quarter pounders with cheese and Sprites all the way down there, and then they were refusing to give me my medication, so I'm throwing up all the time. And then finally, like at the last leg, they give me my medicine. Get brought back to Texas. I go to like get booked in and everything else. And then they sit me down. Then they call you back up to the desk like multiple times. And then she's like, all right, you got a bond for $40,000. And I was like, what? She's like, you got a bond for $40,000. I was like, $40,000. She's like, yeah. I'm like, bet.
Got that.
I get on the phone. I'm like, can I make a phone call?
And by the way, in Texas, 40,000, does that mean 4,000? Because you just need 10%, right?
Yeah, 10%, 15. Sometimes they charge 20. It just depends.
Right.
But my bondsman, like I don't know if she's still in the game. I know the company where it was located is not there anymore. It's another one. I don't know if it's still theirs. I don't even know if she was alive. She was an older lady then, but she loved the out of me. So I called my mom. And I was like, hey, she's like, what's up? And I was like, I got a bond. She's like, you do? I said, yeah. I said, call Rosemary. Give me about this bitch. And she came and see me, and they made my mom put up, her and my stepdad, they made them put up their house because I had ran, like I had absconded. Right. So they were like, you can't just bond out. Like, we got to have some property. So I'm like, bet. So my mom's all like, you better not run. I'm like, dude, I'm not running. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm good. It is what it is. So I fight my case for a little while, and I'm thinking the whole time I'm going to get reinstated because I didn't like do nothing. I just stopped reporting.
Right.
So they're trying to get me like some type of some type of rehab or some shit, right? And I have stomach surgery. And after I have my stomach surgery, they're like, they put off my court date, and then I tore my ACL. So then I'm in there getting that worked on. So I'm showing up to court and crutches and all that shit, my leg locked up. So the DA's like, yeah, we're going to give you probation. He's all like, we're going to reinstate your probation. We're going to make you go do this like rehab thing. Yeah, no, we're just going to say you're on drugs. He's like, you can choose it. It's going to be an outpatient thing. He's like, there's a nice one in this town called Salado. And I'm like, all right, bet. Well, you remember my son's mom, the stripper? Mm. So she's always with like high-end tricks, like lawyers, DAs. So the lawyer that she was with, his name's Perry Cortez. He's in the feds right now doing 25 years. And yeah, dog, it's crazy. And then I don't know what happened to him, but I know he was facing a murder for hire plot in Florida because he was trying to have this mom and daughter like kill the witness. So like him and some other lawyers, they were working with people from like Nigeria and China, getting into people's like other big law firms' bank accounts and getting money. I can't remember. My homeboy's mom sent me the article, but he got 25 in the Fed. Well, this piece of shit, because he's from New Jersey. The DA was from New Jersey, so they're homies. You know, they all eat at the same spot. Yeah. They all know each other. So when I went in there after my knee shit, he had the paperwork with the rehab on there. And I was like, well, let me just sign for it now. He's like, well, let you get out of the brace and walk. And I'm like, let's start it now. If it's outpatient, who gives a like, let me just do it now. And he's like, dude, I got murders and robberies, like more shit. You're not important to me. I'm not worried about it. Dude, when everything is said and clear a couple months later, I remember that dude had told my ex, he's like, because I was over there seeing my son. And he, for some reason, didn't like me going over to her house to see my son because he thought that we had something going on, but we didn't. And I remember he texted her, he's like, I'm going to get that put in prison. I'm going to get him 60 years. And I was like, what is that dude's deal? So she called him and I got on the phone. I'm like, hey, bro, like, I'm not over here messing with her. Like, I'm just seeing my kid, dude. Like, it ain't even nothing like that, bro. Because I had known her since I was like 8 years old. I'm like, we got history together, dog. Like, I've known her since I've been in Texas. I was like, you're tripping, dude. And so when I go to my court, I text my lawyer and I said, I'm going to the courthouse now. And he said, come to the office. And when he said that, I knew something was up. So we go in, he's got a DVD with my YouTube music videos on it. And he goes, who's Frizzy White? And I go, what? Frizzy White. I said, Frizzy White. And I go, you mean Frank White? Yeah, who is that? I was like, that was me. My music name, what's up? The DA's got videos of you and y'all are holding up a bag of money and a gun and he's saying you're a big time drug dealer and da-da-da-da. And he's like, and he ain't giving you the program no more. He's offering you 60 years. I said, what? He goes,
you should have just bought gas stations with that money, dude. Don't try to rap. Drug dealers out there, if you got motion, stay off the internet.
Bro, I'm like, what the I'm like, hold on, dog. So I bring up Perry Cortez to him. I said, bro, that's the exact same thing. So long story short, we wound up going to court. They enhance me because I'm a multiple felon. So all of a sudden they bring up some enhancement. They enhance me. So now I'm facing 15 to 99 years.
For possession.
For possession, because they enhance me. So the judge is like, what is this enhancement coming from? My lawyer didn't even know about it. And he's like, yeah, we're enhancing him. He's a career criminal. And if I get enhanced one more time, that's 25 to life. So now I'm facing 15 to 99, which is basically 15 to life, for a probation violation for just absconding. And he's like, and we're offering him 60 years. And I remember I just started laughing. And like everybody looked at me and I said, 60 years? I was like, bro, you could suck my I ain't about to sign a what? I was like, y'all gonna have to give me that shit. We're running that shit. And then the judge is like, excuse me? And I was all like, I'm not 60 years. I was like, bro, y'all just gave a because when you go to court, there's like other people going. Bro, they gave a dude, it was like his 5th time sex offender, 10 years probation.
Yeah. They do that.
Yeah, I'm like,
we like pedophiles. Like that's this country. We know now from
the Epstein
files.
Yeah.
Nobody's being arrested. We like sex offenders.
Yeah,
we do.
Yeah,
we like pedophiles.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you just let that chomo walk about this, and you're gonna give me 60 years? She's like, you can't go to trial. You're already guilty. I said, well, I can tell you this much. I'm not signing for a goddamn thing. You're gonna have to give me that, bro. You're gonna have to give me that time. I was like, you got me up. So we went to court like a month later. My PO, who was my real PO, who was cool as soon as I got back, she's like, why the did you run? And I told her what that dude, that Officer Hernandez cat did. And she's like, that piece of shit. So she testified on my behalf. And she was like, don't do this to him. Don't send him to prison. He doesn't deserve this. Da-da-da-da-da. He's passed every UA, blah, blah, blah. She's like, don't do this to this man. You're just going to turn him into a career criminal. And so the judge, she was all like, I got to give you something. You absconded. So I'm going to give you the minimum. I'm going to give you 2 15-year sentences, ran concurrent, blah, 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 and all this old bullshit. And she's like, I'm going to give you all your street time, this and that, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, all right. And I'm like, so here we go. 2 15-year sentences. Let's
agreed to it.
Well, I had no choice because I went to the sentencing because it's a probation violation.
That's right.
Yeah, so I can't fight it.
There's no
there's
going to trial.
Yeah,
because you already signed for it.
But I'm not signing no plea bargain. I wasn't signing nothing. Even I don't care. Like I wouldn't if they would have offered me 15
But how did
years.
they give you an extra 5 years if it was only a 10-year probation? It was like
because they enhanced it. Dude, I think the enhancement was illegal. I still don't even know. They gave me they call it a paragraph.
I would have hired, because you had a lot of money, man. I would have hired some of the best lawyers to figure out how you could sue and get some money out of that.
Dude,
the last guy we had in here stands to make, no joke, and you believe that guy, right, John? George Day stands to make, and now this was the feds, hundreds of millions of dollars. In the feds, you get paid by the second.
Yeah.
It's like $1,000 a second.
Yeah.
And he was like, they'll never give me the whole thing, but I'll probably get 10% of it. And we did some quick math. It's anywhere from 100 to 150. Like you could have whatever judge you need. You could have somebody's head knocked off. That's the kind of money they're gonna pay you. So,
dude, that's crazy.
I don't know if maybe you should look into that.
I've always thought about it. I'm like, bro, if I ever blow up and make some money, like I'm gonna. Well,
the judge, his lawyer is doing it on the strength. Obviously, he's doing it on commission because he sees how blatant it is.
Yeah, I don't know how it happened, and I'm like, I didn't catch a new case. If you were gonna give me a paragraph, you would have gave it to me when I caught the dope case. Not now. It's not like I caught a new charge. And so yeah, dude, I didn't.
Anyways,
yeah, and that's when I went back to the joint. So
wow, and now your whole life has changed. It's been years since you were gangbanging and being involved in this prison politicking, and you've touched millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Do you think you made more money with the weed or the meth?
Probably the clear, because I was in the game longer with it.
Right.
I wasn't in the bud game as long,
but you probably were making millions off the bud.
We were eating, yeah, and I wanted to go legal with it too, because I saw that there was, in Michigan they had shops, and I was like, bro, this is something we can already do.
Right.
Like we can really make some paper off this shit. And I'm a crazy bro. Like I had even took a trip up to Michigan and went into a bud shop and tried to cut a deal with a shop. Like, hey, what's up, bro? Like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And he was like, you're crazy. He's like, you don't even know me. You come
But
here.
a lot of, that's the hustle everywhere.
Yeah.
Buy it illegally, sell it legally.
Yeah. So, I'm down to try to make some bread. So, but nah,
but the point is now you're in Texas State Prison. You've been this like drug kingpin, bro. So, but your whole, that's like the most torturous thing, is to be at this high level and now you're around the scum of the earth.
And now you're around
no offense.
yeah.
So it's like, that's a hard fall.
It is
psychologically.
It put me, it's crazy that you said that, because it put me in like a very depressive state.
Yeah.
Like a very depressive state. Like I wasn't really talking. I wasn't exercising.
But they knew who you were from all those years before, right?
Yeah,
like your name was still good.
My name, dude. So I popped up on that place I told you about earlier, Club Hutchins. Man, I went there and, I got this 5'9" tatted on my chest, but I'm not trying to, be involved in nothing. So, when I was in last time, they had me on gang file, but I signed paperwork to get off gang file, and they watched me for like 6 months, and then they finally let me sign paperwork to get off file. So when I went back in, they were like, what's up? Are you still? And I'm like, nah, I already got up off the file. So I tell them I'm not doing nothing, which I wasn't. It wasn't a lie. So they're like, all right, we're going to let you, be out in population. We're not going to try to put you over here in this, it's like a controlled wing area type shit. And, man, I'm on the ranch that day. And the very next day, I'm walking to chow, and this Crip dude I know, look out, Tim, distinct ass voice. I turn and look at him, fool named Slow. Everybody call him Slow Motion. And remember how I told you I seen like 5'2", 90 pounds, beat the out of big horse jockey? That's what this fool was.
Wow.
A little black Bruce Lee, probably weighed 119. I seen this slide a dude like 6'6", like it wasn't shit. He had that dude doing the stanky leg in the day room. That boy hit like a ton of bricks. I looked at him, I'm like, what's up, Slow? He's like, what's up, baby? Woo, we're chopping it up. So I'm back on the pod chilling. And then next thing you know, I already knew who the Bloods were that were in there. I ain't saying nothing, but I take a shower. You can see the 5'9" on my chest. So you can tell they're questioning, but nobody's saying nothing to me. And all of a sudden, all these blood fools come up in there. They go over, they start talking. They're looking at me. So I see them look at me. So I start getting out of my clothes because I'm thinking they're about to come over there and try to, do something or whatever. And they walk over and they were all like, you Tim? I'm like, yeah, what's up? And they're like, damn, why you ain't let nobody know what's up? And I'm like, what you mean? They're like, Slow told us about you, man. He told us about how you was over on Terra. Ooh. And I'm like, I ain't doing that shit no more. That's why, dog. They're like, what, you ain't? I'm like, nah. And I was like, if y'all want me to cover up the 5'9", like I will. If y'all trying to throw hands or some shit, we can do that. I was like, but nah, I'm too old, bro. Like I'm done with that shit, fool. Like I'm moved on. I still got love. You know what I'm saying? We can be cool or whatever. Like I ain't gonna watch one of y'all get jumped in front of me or anything like that. But like I'm not involved anymore. And they were like, nah, homeboy, ain't nobody tripping with you. We were just, checking in, what's up? And then they're like, you ever want to come back to the dog food, dog bowl, come holler at us, blah, blah, blah. But then there's, like I told you back in the game, like there wasn't a lot of like 254 cats there. Well, now 254 is big as that motherfucker. So all my homies from Temple that know me, when they find out I'm there, they just fall over the pod. So once a week, these are over on the pod and we're eating big, chilling, chopping it up. It starts getting me out of that depressive state. Then I wind up having a tattoo artist cover up the 5'9" on my chest. When I got my chest piece done, I had him cover it up. Even though I didn't have to get it covered up, I knew when I hit the real penitentiary, the ID unit, they might say something different. They might be like, hey, if you ain't gonna get down, then you need to cover that shit up. Right. And so I just did it to kill all the problems type shit. And was chilling over there, started drawing and shit, got into art and stuff like that because I had met a couple dudes who were like tattoo artists on the streets and had shops and they caught cases. But I was like, I gotta switch addictions, and they looked like they were living the drug dealer lifestyle but with tattooing. So I was like, let me get into art. I didn't know how to draw shit, so I started doing that. And then like a dude that I used to bang with on Terrell unit, who had laid it down and become a Muslim way back in the day, he had a life sentence under the old law, right? So if you got an L under the old law, like before 96 here in Texas, you only had to do 15 on it and you could make parole.
Right.
Yeah, so he came in on a parole violation and too many dirty UAs, and then he got caught with like a blunt or some shit. Like, so they violate him. He did like a year or something over there. So he came in there, and as soon as he seen me, he's like, he heard my voice. And then he walked over to me. He's like, hey, bro, were you on Terrell unit? And I was like, yeah. He's like, is your name Tim? I'm like, yeah. And his name was Tyree. He's like, you remember me? I'm like, yeah, I remember you, bro. He's like, why you ain't say nothing to me? I was like, I didn't know if you remember me or not. And so we started chopping it up. He's like, you still banging? I'm like, nah. I was like, I got that shit covered up. I was like, bro, I'm chilling. And he's like, hell yeah, bro. So he's like super stiff. So I'm like, what are you back in here for? And he's like, because I'm smoking weed all the time. He's like, he got caught with a blunt or a couple of blunts, and that's why they violated him. He's like, bro, I'm never getting off this shit. He's like, I'm told him I'm gonna smoke. But so he was like a stiff Muslim. He was a stiff Muslim then, like praying 5 times a day, like always in his Quran and shit. He was a practicing Muslim on the streets. And so the discipline factor is what attracted me.
Definitely.
And
a lot of people.
Yeah, and Muslims, dude, are very like well read. Like they will study like a. So I was like, what's up with the Muslim thing and da 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 da, and like when I was on Terrell unit, there was one white Muslim there the whole time, but he had no respect. He was really a hoe. Like he was really in it for protection. Right. Most of the Muslims didn't like him. He had a bunch of money, and so I knew about him. He was an S2, so he like never had to worry about no real problems type shit. So he started bringing me down to like Talim and shit. That's like the service they have on Wednesday. And then Jumu'ah, like their church is on Friday. But if you're not a Muslim, you're not allowed to go to Jumu'ah. So I was going to Talim, and then eventually they were like, hey, you can come to Jumu'ah. So I wound up going to Jumu'ah a couple times, and they had like people from the Middle East coming in there and teaching and stuff like that. And just started super studying super hard. Was telling my mom about it. She was against it, obviously. She was like, not anything to do with like Muslims, but she was just like the whole 9/11 shit, right?
Right.
She's like, don't do that. So like a lot of people don't know.
We're like, Mom, that was Israel and the United States.
Yeah.
It's
But
actually the Jews.
It's just, she
Not the Muslims.
Yeah, for real. It definitely was. Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, we can get on that for sure, dog. I'm definitely on that shit. But I won't. But anyway, so I'm like, Mom, I was like, you don't, chill out, da. So what a lot of people don't know is when you become a Muslim in prison, it's not a guarantee they're going to do it. So when you take your shahada, like when the guy from the outside comes in and does it, he tells you this. He's like, that they can put you on a terrorist watch list for this, because during the whole war, there was people that got out of prison and went over there to fight with Al-Qaeda or ISIS. Like that's happened, right? So they know that people get radicalized in jail type shit. And I was like, okay. And he's like, are you sure you want to do this? And I'm like, yeah. So I wound up taking my shahada there. Full-blown Muslim, and praying 5 times a day, working out, pork-free tray, like a shit like that. So then I get shipped off the farm. I got my prayer rug with me. So, when you get transferred, you're going to different things, but they got to let you keep your prayer rug and your Quran. So I'm taking my prayer rug with me, and as soon as I'm hitting these units and walking, and people see me, they're going to shoot out the call. Salam alaikum. Wow. They're going to hit you with the salam alaikum. So, you know what I'm saying? Well, alaikum assalam. What's up, brother? What you need, brother? They're going to shoot SSIs down there to you. Yeah. Like, I ain't going to lie to you, man. Like, it's some real Brotherhood type shit. Like, they're with you, like, for real. So, so I make it to the real farm. They go to UCC. They see I'm a Muslim. They see that I used to be a gang member, and then they were like, are you going to be chilling here or what? And then I was like, yeah. So I had caught a shank case back my first time, right? They didn't do nothing to me. They didn't hit me with no time, nothing like that. So they held up a picture of the shank, and they were like, are you getting down like this anymore? And I was all like, if my back against the wall and that's how I got to come out swinging, then obviously I was like, but bro, I'm in my 30s. Like, I'm just trying to chill and go home, dude. I haven't had no up since I've been locked up. I'm just trying to chill. And I think if the rank would have been white, they would have tried to put me on a real up building, but all the rank at Torres unit is Mexican. It's like 90% Mexican on the farm. Like, they run that. So they sent me to a straight pod because they politic stupid tough on Torres unit. Like, it's stupid tough. And so I get over there. As soon as I hit the pod, I got my prayer rug and stuff like that. So the few Muslims that see me, they just come straight up to the cell. Salam alaikum, we're chopping it up. So they kind of run me on my knowledge, see if I know my prayers, my wudu, like if I can say it all in Arabic and stuff like that, to make sure I'm not like faking the funk. Like, I'm just trying to do it for protection, because they do protect you. Like, if you're in a gang and you try to get out of your gang to become a Muslim and say the gang is like, nah, that ain't happening, then Muslims will step in and they're going to be like, well, if we got to go to war for this brother, then that's what's happening. And then they'll be like, or y'all can smash him out. You can D him up right now and do what you got to do. And after that, it's over with. Right. And that's usually what takes place and stuff like that. So, I was in Islam practicing heavy, dog, for a minute, bro, down there. And I was tattooing and shit. I learned how to tattoo in prison. That's where
you learned how to tattoo.
Yeah, that's where I learned how to tattoo in prison. I was drawing real quiet, didn't f with anybody, worked out 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week.
That makes the time fly.
Yeah, it makes it fly. And then like a Muslim, bro. Like, okay, so I always kind of felt hurt deep down that, like, I guess white people in Texas didn't accept me, right? Because I know that I'm white and I'm a race realist. I know that, like, ethnicity is real and I know that culture matters. And I think it always kind of bothered me deep down that my culture, unless they were fly white boys, didn't accept me. Like, and I think it bothered me, right? This is me thinking years later after I made the choice that I made. But like, there was things going on in Islam where, like, it was still the biasness towards white people. And you were always hearing the white this, the white that, like certain things, conversations. Oh, well, the white, and it was like, damn, I got to deal with this shit now again in religion. Like, I wasn't really a spiritual man, and I wasn't really a religious man. I was really in it for the brotherhood and the discipline. So it kind of felt like I was faking the funk anyways, being a part of something. But I was also still trying to identify with like the black culture too, right? Because I grew up around that. But I've never had a problem with white people because I've had white friends and we always hung out. I hung out fly white boys like me, schoolboy white boys. Like I've always been that guy. Like in school, with the weirdos, all types of shit. So like, I just started having a problem. Like deep down, it was like bothering me about things. And then like a Muslim brother of mine, who's now in the feds, I wouldn't even think he did 25 type, man. Wahid here from Austin. He just caught his case like 2 years ago. I never think he would get involved in anything like that. He started exposing me to Jewish propaganda. He started exposing me to things about black history that weren't real, that were falsehoods, things about white people that were lies. A lot of these like things. And I guess like, I don't know what it was, but I just like started to drift. And there was a white dude.
From Islam.
Yes, I started to talk to more white dudes. So like this one white dude who was an ex-ABT named Country, he came up to me. He's out right now. We're friends on Facebook. He came up to me. He was drunk off wine. And I had just came back. I was working in the commissary, like where you go canteen, where you go and buy shit. So as soon as I come home from work, I immediately come in, do wudu, say my prayer, and I pray, right? Right off the rip before I do anything. As soon as I come home, I hit my prayer. And he told me, he jammed me up on the stairs. I was about to work out, and he came up to me. He's like, man, Tim, he's like, you know, the whole time you've been on this farm, I've been here for a couple of years now, like 4 years. He's like, I never wanted to like you, but I've always respected your discipline, and you're cool as a. He's like, I just wish you were on our team. And I was like, I appreciate you saying that to me, bro. And he's like, I know I'm drunk. He's like, but I just wanted to let you know that there's been times that I've looked down at your cell and wanted to come down there and hit you with something because I'm like this solid ass dude, but he ain't even with his own people. And I was like, that's because my own people decided not to with me because y'all wouldn't respect me for who I am. So now there's a thing in Texas prisons where fly white dudes are woods, but they call them like hood woods. So they're hood woods. They might have banged in the world, maybe not, but because they have a thing down there now called the wood pile. It's basically like the Tongo blast, but like white people. They call each other homeboy. They heart check each other, shit like that. So you got a bunch of fly ass white boys who listen to rap, act, you know, hood. You know what I'm saying? They're stupid cool with black people, stupid cool with essays, but they're hood woods. So I started like, you know, with the whites, the hood woods, some of the regular woods, stuff like that. And we just really started clicking, and I started to drift away from Islam. And I guess I just like was like identifying with just, you know, white people, I guess, like kicking it with white people, like chopping it up with them, giving them a chance to talk. And then there was the country white boys that weren't with me. And, you know, there was a couple of ex-ABT cats there because those were the cats that beat the out of me. You know what I'm saying?
Way back in the game.
Way back in the game. So like we talked about that and they were like, yeah, that's some bullshit. They shouldn't have did that to you. And we were just chopping it up, getting cool. So there was a white dude there. My boy Tex, man, he's out right now. Good people, dog. He was a Crip in the world. And he would lock up with the Crips. But then one day I seen him shoot bolts with my homeboy. So like the whites, we have a handshake here where he's shaking you like they shoot bolts like that. So I seen him shoot bolts with my homeboy. So one day I jam up. I'm like, what's up, Tex? And he's like, you know, he says the N-word and everything in jail. Like that's kind of like affluent now. SA say it. Like you'll hear people saying this shit, right? And,
everybody says it.
Yeah. So I'm like, what are you, fool? And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, are you a Crip or are you a Wood? Because I seen you shoot bolts. Like, what's up? He's like, oh, no, I'm a Wood, bro. I'm a hood Wood. He's like, we just be locking up around. That's my homeboy from the world. They know what's up with me. And I was like, so how did you grow up? So I started talking to him because I'm like deep down having conflicting issues. It's really bothering me because there was dudes on this unit that knew me from Terrell. like dudes that didn't know I was a blood when I pulled up there and they seen me and they were like, bro, you were on Terrell. So they start telling. So it's like the whole process again. Oh, you know, like this crip fool named Pat from Fort Worth. He's like, bro, I was on medium custody with that white boy. That white boy goes hard. So everybody's like, you were a blood? Because I had the 5'9" covered. So I just let sleeping dogs lie. I didn't tell no, because I just didn't want to answer for it, I guess. I didn't want to talk about it. Like, I didn't want to like feel like I owed somebody an explanation or some shit. Because I kind of like feel like it's like, bro, I'm not going to explain myself. Like, I ain't got time. I'm a grown ass man, fool. Like, but at the same time, you know, it's a delicate situation. So you don't want to act like I ain't got time to talk. I ain't got to answer your questions. And they'd be like, well, shit. Well, what's up? Catch that shower, fool, since you ain't got time to answer no questions. So, you know, it's kind of annoying, but at the same time, it has to be done. So I'm like, how did you go from being like this and rolling like this to now rolling with whites? Like, what is the thing? And it was the same thing that I was, I guess, having a problem with. He's like, I'll never be them. I'll never be them. I'll always be the outcast.
You'll
He's
never
like,
be who?
Black. Like, he's
Right.
like, I'll never, that's their thing.
Yeah.
I'll never be that. He's like, it ain't no beef. He's like, I ain't got no, no Nazi signs. He's like, I ain't over here on no shit like that. He's like, but I'm white. And he's like, you know, I'm never going to be fully accepted by them. And he's like, and I would rather roll with the group that's going to accept me fully. And he's like, so my decision, he's like, I didn't make it quick. He's like, I was solo when I first came here. He's like, but, you know, I've met some good woods in here and they're my homies. And he's like, so, you know, I want to ride with them. So there was some shit that had kicked off with the Mexicans in there, a K2 debt. And so like a riot had happened a couple years before I got there because a white dude caught out owing some money on a K2 debt. So a riot happened between like the whites and the blast. And then after the riot happened, they were like, they had made a deal that any white dude or like Mexican, if somebody caught out owed a drug debt, that it wouldn't kick into a race riot, right? So there was a homeboy on another building that caught out like owing like $350 on a tune debt. And so my homeboy was out of place over there and he had some contraband on him. He's out now doing his thing, legit, owns a oil change place and shit like that. So he had some contraband on him. So like 5 whites got smashed by like 30 Mexicans. He's over there out of place with some contraband that can catch him free roll time like a. So instead of staying and getting involved in the riot, which would have been stupid as the door was shutting because he was out of place, but his job let him move around like that. But he wasn't supposed to be over there, but his boss let him go over there to handle some business. He jumped out of the pod and then shot out and then made it back to our building. So the whites that got smashed, some of them I was stupid cool with. So now there was like all this politic, and it was about to be there was riots that popped off on multiple sections, you know what I'm saying, between the whites and Mexicans. And then, you know, it was like Blast had got involved and that unit was probably like maybe 10% white. And out of that 10%, maybe 3 was stiff. So they're just getting aired out. So the whites that I'm kicking it with, we've gotten super close, like really super close. And you know, it's kind of like a weird situation because they know that I used to bang. Then I've been a Muslim on this unit for almost 5 years now. And now I'm starting to hang out with them. So there was whites that weren't feeling that shit. So like if you're solo, you're not supposed to speak on gang business. So now the woods were up with my homeboy for jumping out and burning off with that shit on him. So he's like, bro, what am I supposed to do? Catch a free world charge? For what? A fight I can't win? Are y'all stupid? So I got up about that. So I wound up speaking on that business. And then they were like, you know, you can't speak on nothing if you ain't down with us. And I was like, yeah, I know you're right. You know, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, but this is some bullshit. So like the tensions were kicking off. There was all these meetings going on. And so my homeboy who's back in the pen right now, he just got a fresh 8. He was kind of like a mentor to me, my boy Derek. He could see that it was bothering me, that I couldn't like speak up for guys that I had grown fond with, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he came over to me and he was like, what's up, homeboy? What are you up about? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I see you like looking at us and stuff like that. And I was like, bro, I really with y'all, dog. Like I really cut with y'all. And I was like, and I bet, so by this time, within like the past couple weeks, I slid back from Islam. Like I went and I gave him my rug, I gave him my Quran, my kufi, like everything. And they're like, what's up? And I just told them straight up. I was like, I guess I might be going through like an identity crisis right now, but I don't know. I'm just going to slide back from this. And they had already kind of seen it anyways. So, and it's very hard for me to explain this emotionally, like to make it make sense. Why, like somebody say they're identifying with like, you know, their culture or something, if you want to call it like that. But, so they like had a meeting and my homeboy came down. He's like, hey bro, we're about to fall out of place this pod and go and get it with these Mexicans. And I was like, for real? He's like, I need you to make a phone call to my people. And I was like, bro, let me go over there with y'all. And he's like, man, you can't do that. You ain't with us. I said, man, I don't give a fool. Like this is my homeboy Tugboat. He's out right now too, doing good. And I'm like, I don't give a like I'm like I'm riding with y'all type shit. And he's like, well, you can't do that. And I'm like, I'm going. Like, regardless, I'm rolling with y'all. So he leaves. Then they all wind up talking. And my homeboy Derek comes back over there. He's like, hey, bro, let us holler at you real quick. So I go over there and we go up in the cell. And he's all like, you trying to start shooting bolts or what? And I was like, I don't know if I'm trying to start shooting bolts, but I know that I with y'all. And for some reason, I just feel like I want to get down with y'all. Like, I don't want to see y'all get aired out like this. Like, I can't really explain it. And then they were like, well, bro, if you trying to get out with us, then we need you. Like, we ain't up with you. We already made a call. So there was another white dude on the other side. He was the main shot caller, a white boy. He's out now too, doing good, named Chief. Big ass white boys, one hitter quitters. They sent word over to him already behind my back, like, hey, we want Tim to get out with us. How you feel about us? And he liked me. So he was all like, yo, get him in. And so they were like, what's up? You gonna get down with the what? And I'm like, let's ride. So joined up like that. It was crazy because me getting down like that, it really bridged a gap with the other races, because seeing how I used to get down with the blacks, even the Mexicans felt like they could trust me more. So when that racial tension was kicking off, my homeboy who was on the other side of the fence, we're coworkers. So we're about to get after it with his clique. He sends a kite to me and says, hey, let's meet up in a chow hall and talk. So we go and link up in the chow hall. He said, we need to dead this bitch ass shit, bro. Ooh. And he's all like, I know I can trust you. I know you're not a racist. Right. I know you're not prejudiced. Because even before I got down with them, I went and talked to the Muslims first. And I said, how would y'all feel about me becoming a Peckerwood? And they were like, that's your people, bro. Like, we always thought it was weird that you didn't do it. So then I had some homies from the world over there that I knew that are black. And then I had some blood homeboys that I knew from the world that were there. And I had blood homeboys who were on Terrell unit with me. So I went and talked to all them individually, because this was really bothering me on the inside to go from one thing to another. It's like one extreme to the next. I lost sleep behind it. It really bothered me. And because I felt like I was betraying black people, right? Like, it was just a very, very mentally draining situation. So I went to them and I was like, how would y'all feel about me being down with these fools? And they were just like, even my homeboy still today, I talked to him yesterday. He was all like, he's like, white. Yeah. Like, I thought you were crazy as a with us. Yeah, he's like, you're white, bro. Like, those are your people. He's like, we know. Of course,
black, and that's how awesome black people are. They get it.
Yeah, they get it. Yeah,
they're not tripping.
They're not tripping. They're like, bro, you're white. They're like, bro, that's your people, bro. Yeah. We know who you are. And then they even said the same thing. They were like, bro, he's like, what's cool is it's kind of gonna bridge a gap, because we know we can trust you. We know deep down you got love for us. You're not gonna come and talk to us and then walk off and say, oh, stupid ass. Dumb. We know you ain't built like that. So
did that riot that beef get squashed?
It got squashed. Wow. But what's crazy is that I wound up hiring a parole lawyer. There were still racial tensions. Mm-hmm. So like, they wound up taking our bench on one pod, and then we had to go over there and get our bench back. And, you know, it shit kept dominoing for like 6 months. And then my homeboy made Parole, who was about to go home. So he's like, I'm nominating you for speaker. So he's like, so we're going to start doing this. I'm going to start showing you all this stuff. So he's grooming me for his position when he leaves. So we're going to talk, and we're meeting up with the leaders of each building in the chow hall, chopping it up, stuff like that, talking about business and stuff like that. And then I make Parole.
Then this is 7 years in?
Yeah. And then dude, I think I was like a Muslim for over 5 years. I think I had my timeline off. Yeah, because I was only a wood for like almost 2 years.
And then just like that, you make Parole, and that was 6 years ago. And you're still on paper, though.
Yeah, I'm still on paper.
Got a couple more years. Wow. And will this be the first time? I mean, 6 years, this is the longest you've been on the streets, right? Pretty much?
Yeah.
Wow. And you've been on paper since you were 17 years old. And you're 43 now.
I'm 43, about to be 43 next month. And I'll be 40, I'll be 44, about to be 45 when I get off in 2028, dog.
Damn near 30 years.
Yeah. And then like I'm like on the lightest parole you can be on. Yeah. So like I only have to report by the phone like every 90 days.
Yeah.
But the UAs are random. So they just call you at random, be like, hey, you're on the UA list, come in, and you got like 24 hours to go in. So I'm at the gym 2 days ago. And today's Friday, right? So it was Wednesday. So I'm talking to my brother. My PO calls me. I'll pick up. I'm like, what's up, bro? And I be talking to him like a regular person. Yeah. I'm like, what's up, bro? How you doing, man? Woo. Because, I mean, I ain't trying to beef with these. Like, they can your life all the way up.
Totally.
Like, I don't need that shit. So he's all like, hey, bro. He's like, your name came up on the UA list. And I was like, for real? And he's like, yeah. I was like, bet when you need me to come in. So he's like, can you come in tomorrow morning? I'm like, yeah. So he's like, I want you to know something, that they passed some new thing. I couldn't really hear him too well, but then he was all like, I recommended you to be put on like annual visits. He's like, it already got approved by my supervisor. We're just waiting for Austin to see what they'll say. And I was like, bet. And he's like, you know what that means? I was like, no. And he's like, that you only got to report once a year. And he's all like, you got 2 years left. He's like, you deserve it. No violations. You've been chilling. He's like, you really changed your life. He's like, he's like, you deserve it. So he's like, hopefully, he's like, it could take like a month for that to come back. And so hopefully that's that.
Amazing, man. Amazing. Well, congratulations. That's an odyssey. So for people who didn't see the first episode with you, you're now like a private tattoo artist.
Yeah.
You're kind of a tattoo artist on demand. Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So you work between like Dallas, Austin,
San Antonio,
Houston, San Antonio. Mm-hmm. So shout your Instagram out, because then people can get a hold of you. They can DM you. And if you got some bread to spend.
Yeah, hell yeah,
man. You're not doing no $50 joints. Come with some real money. You heard how much money this cat was getting. Yeah. So they can DM you, and then you'll arrange to come to them, basically.
Yeah. I'll just get up a studio, and they can come to the studio and get in with me. And it's Criminal Customs Tattoos and Designs. And I'm actually not expensive, bro, because I understand the economy right now, and I understand people don't have money like that. And my job, if you want to call it, like what I'm selling is not a necessity. It's a want. So I'm competing with tennis shoes and clothes and going out on dates. Yeah. And I understand people don't have bread like that, but they want good work. So I work with people's budgets. So like, I'm not going to tax you some stupid crazy because I want you to get the work. And it's like, I'm not really a spiritual person, but tribal nations still to this day, and back in the game, packs were made through blood. And a tattoo is a scar. I'm actually performing minor surgery at the proper level, and I'm installing a pigment in a scar, because that's what the needle was doing. It's cutting you open at the right depth, and I'm installing a pigment into you, and it's healing over, and it's proper. So to me, it's like a spiritual thing, because I'm scarring you. We're shedding blood together. Yeah. I'm putting you through pain. That's why when I tattoo somebody, I say, do you want to listen to music or do you want to talk? And you'll hear them, they want to talk. And I chop it up with him. I talk to him about shit, tell him about shit. I throw your podcast on in the background. I'm gonna tell you that again, bro. Like I always bump your shit, man. And for real, dog. And I work with people's budgets, bro. So I don't charge an arm and a leg for tattoos. Like I probably should. I deserve it. My mom, she found out how much I charged last night when I went out of town. She's like, "How much you charge for that tattoo?" And I told her, and she's like, "Son, you're ripping yourself off."
Well, but the point is, you'll work with people.
Yeah.
So yeah. Shout out. We'll put the link in the description. And man, that was an odyssey, Tim. Thank you so much, brother.
Hey, thank you for having me. Seriously, bro.
Of course, man. All right, you guys, take care. We'll talk to you soon. Hit him up. He's got the tattoos, bro. And he's licensed?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's what's up. This is no prison tattoo.
No, this ain't no prison tattoos, brother.
There you go. All right, you guys. We'll see you next time. Take care.